Yes, welcome back, people. Welcome back. We got
Brian
another.
Martin.
We have another.
Wagwani is some make sure and not clickbait this in a.
All right, big up yourself, Brian Martin. Yeah, man, it's a whole bunch of thing, Brian Martin. It's a whole bunch of thing happening in the football space around the Phoenix Academy. We got some breaking news coming in today. Hope everybody's doing well. We're just getting the channel up and running slowly but surely, people. I'm working on the graphics to make sure I want to get this podcast up to the level or the standards that I see the other podcasts are running worldwide. So every day now you're gonna see some slight little tweaks that I'm trying to implement in the stream. No, as you know, it was reported last year that Mr. Butler had bought shares in a club in Belgium. It was very it was a very clear cut on how the deal was structured, what percentage. But as you know, Mr. Butler just came out and said he bought a club, and Jamaican people is gonna be like, okay. So it's also alleged that part of the monies that was paid down for this club was part of the Dujon Whisper deal to help to pay for the shares in the club. And it's also stated that Mr. Butler would then now funnel the Phoenix Academy players into this club. No, the problem that they run into now is this, people. None of the Phoenix Academy players are no longer in Belgium. None of the Phoenix Academy players are no longer in Belgium. They were all removed from the club. Again, they were all these players that Mr. Butler brought over to Belgium, they were all removed from the club, though Mr. Butler is part owner. So let me see some of the players that are removed from the club. Kevin Wilson, aka Saka, he's removed from the club. He played his last game, I think November 19, and he had to stop playing. No, he's back in Jamaica and he's slated to play for Harborview. And he's now talking. A lot of these guys are now talking what took place with them. No, out of all, I don't remember if it's 10 players, but out of all the players that Mr. Butler had there, I think none of the players actually played 90 minutes worth of football. A lot of them were just there on the bench, floating around. And he basically stuffed the team. The team is not doing well. It's not like they're anything special. And we're not here to drag anybody. These are words, these are from some of the youngsters coming back from Belgium speaking about what took place. And these things are all alleged. It's all alleged. All right. It's all alleged. Trey Moon, big up yourself.
Trey Moon. Big up Jay Taylor.
Yeah, man. Big up yourself, Trey Moon. Starboy Juices, big up yourself, Maji. Yeah, man. So all these things are alleged.
Starboys Juices Philly. Bless up.
Yeah, man. Bless up yourself. He said he had 10 players, one assistant coach. Yes, yes. Marquise Reed, Whitfield.
Brian Martin. He said he had 10 players and one assistant coach.
Okay, yeah, that's what he had there. He had 10 players and one assistant coach. So Kevin Wilson, Alexander Bicknell.
Travis Pessoa. At Sports Prophecy TV, up at JT.
Yeah, man. Big up yourself, Travis Peso. So yeah, so all these players know. So basically, how it goes now, it's a situation like what happened to Martin Davis. You know, the story goes that when Martin Davis was in Malta, Craig Butler was supposed to be paying him. Craig Butler gets paid allegedly, and then he pays Martin Baker and Martin Davis, and Martin Davis' apartment and everything is paid for. When Martin Davis saw how much he was getting and how much Craig Butler was getting, it's alleged that Mr. Butler was making more than Martin Davis. That's why Martin Davis stopped playing football for a while. I think he got into a little trouble with FIFA there as well with that whole situation. No, it comes back around that these players know Craig Butler was supposed to be paying all these players that are there.
Shavan purred. Bless up JT. Travis Pessoa. At Brian Martin, face with tears of joy, that man of the biggest fraudsters and flag of Jamaica, football who trick and use young footballers till them find him out at JT. Gang stalking Jamaican boy. What the hell, Davis is a good baller. Shavan purred. At Travis Pessoa, is Reed still in Jamaica?
Yeah. So he was supposed to pay these players, and it seems like we don't know what happened to the money that the players, I don't know if they were getting paid or what's been taking place. So a lot of these players haven't been getting paid. And
Tyrone Williams. Big up JT.
Big up yourself, Tyrone. So all these players now are back in Jamaica. It's I don't know. It's very
Gang stalking Jamaican boy. Who is that talking? Is she from China?
She's from China. She's from the UK. Okay, this is, yeah, she's getting a bit too, yeah, she's getting a bit,
Shavan purred.
yeah.
Take off the AI. It's gonna interrupt you, bro. Aldane. JT, that's annoying, brother.
Yeah, we're gonna take off the AI. We have to get it. We need the AI.
Gang stalking Jamaican boy.
We need the AI to only read a certain some of the information, but we're gonna get him programmed. We're gonna get him programmed to read like super chat and different things, but we're gonna program her properly. But we need to have her in the show because sometimes some people say some funny things and we can make the AI say it. But we're gonna get AI in the show, people. We're gonna find out how to not make it annoying because it's 2024 and I like growth. As you can see with the graphics, everything, we're trying to upgrade the channel. So we want to get better. So we're gonna try new things. But yeah, I can't have the AI reading all the comments because the AI is gonna go off. So the players are not getting paid. Let me just get Shavan on the phone here. Because we need to chop this up. It's not a good thing that we just want to get to the bottom of this thing to find out why these players are back in Jamaica. And it's 10 players that went over there to Belgium. So, you know, with Mr. Butler thing, you have to dig deep to really find out what's really going on. Shavan, talk to me, Shavan. Saka and those guys are back in Jamaica. They're back on the island, no longer in Belgium. We all thought it was a great deal for them going to the club that Craig Butler apparently bought shares in, allegedly. We have to go allegedly. What's going on? What's the rumors on the ground, Shavan, as to why these players are no longer in Belgium?
All right. So I heard something. I said allegedly. I'm not going to say I had heard it before, but the fact that I'm hearing so many persons coming with the same information.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if somebody has something against Craig or not, but it's too much information to be spread by so many different persons. So apparently there are some wrong dealings pertaining to Craig and the club.
Mm-hmm.
And then doing my own research, I saw where the players are, the last set of players, they haven't played since November.
Mm-hmm.
And then some players hadn't played. There is even something pertaining to a player who played Manning Cup as well, which that's a bit funny, because if that's the case, then that individual shouldn't have played Manning Cup
That's the
for their
goalkeeper, right?
respective school. I'm not going to call any names. I'm not going to call
Yeah,
no
but there's a
position.
video, Shavan. There's a video of the goalkeeper from Mona signing a contract. And if you sign a pro contract, can you still play Manning Cup?
No, you're not supposed to play Manning Cup. You're not supposed to play even college leagues, I think, because you're a professional. So a professional should not be playing amongst amateurs, because the schoolboy leagues, they are amateur competitions. So there's that.
Hold on, Shavan. Hold on. Let's stick up in there. So even if the player signs a pro contract and the player hasn't started playing professionally yet, they're still not allowed to
doesn't
play.
matter, because you're still binded to a contract. I'm assuming that the contract they would have signed, it would have been a 1 year, 2 year contract.
Mm-hmm.
So it indicates that the player is actually a professional, regardless if he played. Because are you saying if a player signs a contract today and gets injured and he's out for 1 year, are you saying that he's not a professional because he's getting paid because he signed a contract?
Okay.
So the only thing that I would say is if a player never got paid, in which then that would mean that his contract stated that he's not going to get paid. Because once you sign a contract, you are obligated to get paid. So I'm not sure how that goes.
I think Brian Martin, maybe if you want to join the stream, I drop the stream your link. I know you a man know about the rules when it comes on to ISA and Premier League and pro things in Jamaica. Feel free to join the show, my brother, and maybe clear up some things. Continue, Shavan.
Yeah, so I'm not sure about that, but and I heard pertaining to the players that were in that are in Belgium. I know I saw one on Saturday at the Combine.
Okay.
I'm not gonna call a name again. I saw one at the Combine on Saturday. When I know that he went away, I was wondering if they were on holidays, which could be. But the fact that the club had games in December and the players weren't there, I don't know if it's because of the winter, which I don't think, if you're a professional player, I don't think a club will care if you're in there in the winter or not, because you're a professional. You're supposed to make deal there. So with all of that, I don't know what happened. I just heard some things, but if it's anything close to what I heard, then it is something that's it is a cause for concern. Because
let's Shavan, and we're gonna be talking about, we're on sports prophecy, where these are all alleged people. These are all alleged.
Yeah.
So talk to me. What are we talking about? What are you hearing? Because I'm hearing some stuff, and let's see if what you're hearing and what I'm hearing is the same thing, as far as monies and the players getting paid through Craig Butler, the club paying Craig Butler, and the money is not reaching the players. Or what exactly are you hearing?
Yeah, so I think it's almost similar to what we heard with Martin Davis at times, where he signed a contract for X amount, but whenever he got paid, it was coming from the third party, and then it wasn't the amount that should have been there. So I think it's the same situation where the club, that I heard, the contract was stipulated that it wouldn't be the club that would be paying the players; it would have been Craig, and then the player himself, I'm not getting paid. There is even a rumor that a next young reggae boy at times had to help out the players at times by sending them money, sending them food as well. So I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, I'm hearing that Tyreek Jimenez was the one who has to be paying for food for some of those players in Belgium. I don't know how true it is. These are alleged people. Some of these players. So that means, where is it alleged that they weren't getting paid? That Mr. Butler weren't paying them?
I don't know. I'm not going to dig deep into that, to be honest. Because I said, I really just want to know, because hearing that the players went overseas, it was a good opportunity for them to develop. But the fact that we're hearing allegedly that one of the players is coming back to Harborview because apparently
Shavan,
they hadn't
Brian Martin is on. I'm gonna just join the StreamYard, please, because then you can be more active, and then we can take phone calls. All right, do that. But I'm gonna take this phone call, and then I bring in Brian Martin in here. Let me take this phone call here, and then I bring in Brian. All right.
Yes, big man.
You are going, caller. How you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm here. I haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks, I guess everybody been busy,
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, a personal question? Not really a personal question.
You're live, right? You're live, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Okay.
Do you think, just so, I think I know where you stand. I may be wrong. But as far as I see, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. We go back and forth. Someone who wears the national color, right? A coach or a player, and they go out there and they did their all, right? They win or they lose, right? and things happen, do you think they have a right to talk about if they were treated bad, if they were not treated bad by the administration, or they should just shut up?
It's depending on what's in their contract. Because I think
Yes.
if you work for certain companies, they will probably put in the contract that you cannot go out there and just bash the company when you feel
And I
like.
agree with that. I agree with that.
Mhm.
I agree with that. And all right, so on the point of that, do you think that the JFF, since all that's happening now, that they should get some form of it should be written in the contracts now that any dispute there should be an independent third party?
Yes, but yeah, what caller? Me go call you back, and we're on the second part of the show. Let's just wrap up this Craig Butler thing because we're gonna get into that. And
Oh,
we're
okay,
gonna
okay. Oh, okay. Sorry.
no man,
Okay.
no problem.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into the quota as well. So guess what? I'm gonna make your call be my first call back.
Yeah, man.
As
All right. So
soon
finish
as
up this first.
yes.
All
Sir.
right. Cool.
All right, cool. Brian Martin, what's going on? Based on what you're hearing now, players either signing pro contract and still coming back to play Manning Cup. Players not getting paid in Belgium through the third party, similar to what happened to Martin Baker. How do you break this down, Brian? Because I know you're more versed in these kind of areas.
Yeah, afternoon. So so first thing as it relates to the contract and the players, if a player signs a professional contract, they're not eligible to play in the Manning Cup, I think that would eventually have to come down to being able to prove that they signed a contract, because seeing them on a video saying them signing a contract is not necessarily proof, because I mean, them could come back and tell you anything else. As it relates to the players in Belgium, I was always a little bit curious in terms of the whole framework of it, because I know that in those countries, like Belgium, England, and many other countries in Europe, at the level at which these players said they were signing contracts, I was concerned that all of them could have signed a contract for one club, because I know that in these countries, those leagues are seen as developmental leagues, and usually developmental leagues have a bias towards
their
homegrown players.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, Brian, before you get to that, because if Mr. Butler has shares in the club, has an academy, pump his players into the club, how does that work? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so those players, I'm assuming would still have to be Belgian, because I mean, unless the only other way it would even work that way though. But I'm saying those leagues are generally favored towards homegrown players. So I'm not saying you couldn't have 10 of them in a, but I was concerned that you could have 10 of them in one club, because when you look at the club roster in transfer market, that club probably has maybe, I think, 30 players or a little less than 30 players. So it would spell sense to me that they would allow an organization
to have 10 players from one academy.
10 non-homegrown players into the club. As it relates to the Malta situation, I don't know the details about Martin Davis's thing. I know that there was a time when he wanted to leave his club, and for whatever reason the club didn't want him to leave, and they went to FIFA, and I think he got out of his contract. His mom defended him. He said that because his mom is a lawyer, so she defended him, and he became a free agent because he's now signed and playing for a club in Jamaica in the JPL.
Yes.
So, and there wasn't any transfer fee or anything, so he was allowed to be a free agent. But as it relates to the players being paid and stuff, I've heard those stories from persons from players who have been a part of the Phoenix organization and have gone overseas and stuff. But you weren't able to get any of those players on the record or anything of the sort. So I guess to the public, it's just hearsay, to get what I'm saying.
No, the players are talking now, Brian. And the players, we're getting reports from some of the players that this is what's been happening. They've been almost stranded in Belgium, not getting paid as they're supposed to get paid to the third party, because
Brian.
it looks. Yeah, go ahead, Shavan.
Yeah, Brian, I wanted to ask a question, right? The whole transfer process in Jamaica. A player, senior or youth player, a player is signed to a club. The club, even if that player leaves and goes to an academy, the club has to sign off from that, correct?
Not to an academy.
Not to an academy.
So
So
in Jamaica, a player cannot be transferred from an academy to a club unless that academy is registered as a club and plays in a league. So, for example, you have like Ballers Academy,
yeah,
but their players play for Ligani United. So even though you would hear that they are part of Ballers, yeah, Ballers is an academy, but officially they are registered to Ligani. So if you want to transfer them, if Ballers want to transfer them anywhere, it
has to
can't be
transfer
from
from
Ballers
Ligani.
Academy. It has to be from Ligani Football Club.
All right. So the reason why I'm asking, I'm not sure if you know where I'm coming from. Saka.
All right. So
Saka is
Saka was a Harborview player.
not was,
Uh,
apparently still is registered to
okay.
Harborview.
All right. So if all right. So I'm not going to speak to the
Because
situation directly because I don't know the details, but I'm going to tell you generally. So if a player in Jamaica has played for a club and they seek to go overseas to play for another club, they would require what is called an ITC, International Transfer Certificate. And in order for them to get that ITC, they'll have to be transferred from their club. So there is a system that FIFA has, worldwide system called FIFA Transfer Management System. So I think Jamaica is a little bit late to the party in terms of it. I think it's mandatory for all Premier League and Tier 2 clubs, but there are other clubs that don't have it or that are not using it as yet. But it's a way in which and it's tracked. And players are registered onto that system using their passport number, which everybody only have one passport number. Or in Jamaica's context, sometimes players can use their national ID or not a government ID like a driver's license or stuff. But you know that those numbers are unique to each person.
yeah,
And
it's like an
so
ID number.
yes, and so if once it is that a player is going to be transferred, once you start entering those details, the system will prompt you to tell you where that player is registered, and you'll have to get clearance from that from the club who owns the player for him to be released to you.
All
So
right.
unless he was transferred directly from Harborview and got the ITC, I don't see how he could be playing in Belgium.
All right, so there's two things. So all right, so transfer market, I know it's not 100% accurate in all aspects. But
From a Jamaican context, but usually in
yeah,
other top
but
leagues around the world, information is quite
it's
accurate.
correct. All right, so when you search his name on two profiles show for him. Two profiles populate for him. There's one in which he's still a Harborview player, and the other in which shows that he's at Vice, shows that he was transferred from Phoenix Academy.
That's the in club.
Brian?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, what you say a while ago? Never hear
I'm
you.
saying I don't know that he can be transferred from Phoenix
Phoenix.
because
Yeah,
Phoenix is not necessarily a club in Jamaica.
Yeah, so that's
Unless they are, I'm not sure.
so that
Well, to
that's
be honest, I know that they played in the Saint Anne Major League at one point. So they could possibly probably be affiliated and is a club in Jamaica. I know that they played in the Saint Anne Major League. I don't know if they're still affiliated to them, but I know that the club, I know that they had an entity that played in the Saint Anne Major League.
they played.
But
Okay.
so that could possibly be it. But even if he was to be transferred from Phoenix, he would first need to be transferred from Harborview because Harborview is a fully functioning club in Jamaica.
Yeah, so the reason why I'm asking is because it does look a bit weird because as I mentioned, when you search him,
Well, him shouldn't
he
have
has
two profile, All right. So I've had an experience with transfer market, where when you go on it for certain clubs, like like when I was at Mullines and stuff, you would go on and players would have they have wrong date of birth and stuff. And so I signed up for a transfer market account and I was trying to correct it. And then I was prompted and I sent an email and I was advised that transfer market have like what they call data scouts. So if you have information, if you are from the club and you have information, you would have to send that information to the data scout. I don't know where they are based, probably in the Caribbean or in Jamaica or wherever. And then those persons would verify it. Now, one of the means that they use to verify a lot of things is publications. So like news articles and those stuff. And if the league has a website and those stuff, is what they use to verify things. Now, you would appreciate that in a Jamaican context, compared to the rest of the world, our information in terms of publication of stats for players and stuff is not that accurate. So sometimes you will find that when you are looking for Jamaican stuff, it will not be so accurate. Or you have some of the clubs who have like agents who know data scouts and act as a source of providing information to them for them to update on the platform. But it's a little bit strange though that you would say he has two profiles, because why would one player need two profiles if it's the same player though? So
Yeah.
that's kind
So
of
all right.
confusing.
So when I heard the information, I checked myself because I don't like to just take information and run with it. I initially found it a bit strange because when I searched it first, it showed that he was still assigned to Harborview. But when you search within Transfer Market, it shows the other profile. So in my context, I was like, why does he have two different profiles? Because when you look at the other Jamaican players there, oh, also he hasn't actually played a game for them based on the stats. So Saka hasn't actually played a game for the team. So that's another thing. I don't know if that is something maybe the club had realized why he hasn't played a game for them either. But there is something pertaining to that deal because I've been hearing too many things over the past couple of days. And then seeing all of this, here JT said that he has a video of the player signing a contract. JT showed me the video and clearly showed the player signing a contract. But as I said, Brian, it's just a video. It could be just a blank paper. There's nothing on paper. But when you look on the club's website, the player's name is listed on the club's website.
Mm. So, and because I think Craig Butler had an amazing year last year where he won the Manning Cup, sent off one of his players to Chelsea, one of the biggest clubs in the Prem. Have another top player at Aston Villa in Leon Bailey who's playing very well. So I think it was a very good year for Mr. Butler on that hand. But Shavan, let's dive now into the Belgium thing. So it's alleged that is it that the players, the club was supposed to pay Mr. Butler allegedly, and he's supposed to pay the players, and the players are not getting paid? Is that where your
Yeah,
story is?
that's
That's what
all
I'm.
right. So based off what I heard, the player is all right. So Mr. Butler, the whole deal in acquiring stocks in the club,
Mm,
he was supposed to make some payments, but those payments weren't made. So
yeah.
he left the club in a limbo. Because remember, if he was a partner of the club then and he was supposed to be help financing stuff, then he would have to some monetary compensation.
Okay,
So
so you're saying the deal that he struck to get shares in the club, it wasn't just like a one-time deal where you have shares in the club and you're not a part of the day-to-day running. You have to also bankroll part of the bills that comes with the club.
correct.
Oh wow.
So I said that all of this is allegedly the person who I got it from. Is someone that isn't 100. A lot of times, persons say that he isn't 100% truthful. So take it with a grain of salt. Um, so it
Yo,
is
why
a
you feel
bit,
like I know who you are talk so?
See why me feel like me know where
I'm shouting, you know.
yeah.
but it does paint a picture though. And again, Brian, there is the thing with Akeem with the keeper. Well, we call him name Akeem Bernard. The player is listed because I'm checking it on my phone right now. The player is listed on the club's website.
Yeah, but him could argue that that contract was to come in effect after him finish Manning Cup. So that's why me I say. That's why me I say. You see that's kind of tricky in a sense because I've seen in the past where a player same sign a contract to a club only for the club to come out and say, "Yo, we don't sign this player.
And
Don't put up that."
whose
Which
player
was
was that?
And it's the same. It's the
yeah. So when if me see a player same sign a contract,
same.
me usually want to see it from the club perspective for them to say, "Yo, welcome to this player." Cause
Yeah, all
I,
right,
I
but
Europe, you know,
all right,
brother. I don't like Jamaica, brother. Europe. Once a player sign, them say, "Yo,
all right,
welcome to the
but
club." Take picture with their jersey and what them list and stuff.
all
So
right. So all right, so Brian, so what am I gonna say to that now? It is stated that Whisper has signed to Chelsea, right?
well,
But
him did say that
but
Whisper
in
have a
theory,
pre-contract. So
yeah, but in theory, based off legalities, Whisper isn't signed to Chelsea. Because in order for you to be signed to a club, you have to have gotten a work permit. Because as soon as you sign your contract, you're obligated to get paid.
yeah, but
So the
him
fact
did
that
say
he
Whisper
has,
have a pre-contract. Though, so
yes, no, that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying that to say that the player is signed because Whisper isn't listed on Chelsea's page
Yeah,
either.
because a pre-contract, I think the pre-contract stipulates that the player
Once
can
the
still talk to other clubs
clubs, yeah.
during
So
that
he's not
so he's not officially getting
officially
paid. And Dujon Whisper is not officially signed to Chelsea. That's
he's
the
not
tough
officially
reality that
signed.
a lot of
Yeah,
people don't want to hear.
he's not officially signed to Chelsea
No,
based off legalities.
based on legality, Dujon Whisper could actually sign for another club right now. I think there's still time to opt out.
yeah, because yeah, that's sort of I think the pre-contract is like a commitment, but that can be broken because the club could decide that we're no longer interested.
You
So
don't have to have a work permit to sign to a club. But if you
Then
sign
how
a
are you going to?
contract,
No, you don't
but if
have to
you
have the
sign,
work permit to sign, but you have to have the work permit to play.
so
Because I think you can sign and apply for the work permit.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm
that's
thinking
true.
that
Yeah,
the signage would be the motivator or the catalyst when it comes on to
to
applying
the
for the work
for the
permit.
work permit. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
so that makes sense. But him signing an official contract, just like how I see them talking about the young kid from Senegal, from the under 17, they're talking about this kid coming in at Chelsea. We don't hear anything about Dujon Whisper.
Yeah, because the other
It's not.
day
I don't know.
over the holidays period, the kid from um
Ecuador.
Ecuador, Chelsea brought him up and they had him on their YouTube channel doing an official pre-unveil of the player, walking him around the park and everything. But we haven't seen anything much of Whisper so far. So I think that's one of the reasons why persons may have been questioning Whisper's thing. But I know he was officially signed because you saw him in training, which I was thankful for to see him finally there. But I think a lot of persons had queries as to why was he back in Jamaica. But I think that has been verified that it's due to work permit issues, that he hasn't gotten the work permit. So that's the reason why he was back in Jamaica. Um, so I'm gonna say I don't know. Omar. So what happened when a player is signed for over 10 million euros or pound? They automatically qualify for a what do they call it? A special talent. That's it,
Special
JT?
talent. Yeah, yeah, it's a special talent.
Yeah.
There
So
is
he
they said there is what is the word that I'm looking for? It doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have there's special cases where players don't have to use the 10, they can opt out. Don't have to use the 10 million, right? I think
I
you can do that
think
with 4 or 5 players.
yeah, you can have four players, but based off what I heard, I think Chelsea already utilized their four.
Yeah, can utilize that
Yeah, so the guy from City, so that's the reason why you see a lot of these young kids being signed for some exponential fees. Because if they're coming from countries like, for example, Jamaica, who isn't really that renowned, and their FIFA ranking is below a particular level, once they sign for a particular amount, it doesn't apply to them because they would be qualified under the special talent. So the guy for the kid from Ecuador, he would automatically, the guy that City signed, he would qualify because that City signed him for over 10 mil as well.
Yeah.
So it is a bit. I'm just happy that it was just the work permit for Whisper. But when
We still
I
don't even know. We still don't even know because that's the thing with
heard he's leaving this week actually.
yeah. But I'm
I
just
heard,
saying, every time with like these deals with Mr. Butler, they're always shredded in secrecy and almost, like a cloud over them. It's never a seamless process because I think Chelsea is actually taking a punt on Dujon Whisper to how I'm looking at it now. Why I say they're taking a punt is this kid is talented. They see the tape. He ran over the Manning Cup. Great player. I think that it's like we're gonna bring him in, see how he develops, and I just don't know if everything is just like concrete, like the way how I see they treat other signees.
yeah, it's everything seems to be there seems to be something else. There's something that's holding up.
Yeah.
So it's I really don't know. Because especially for the U20, I think
Mm.
all of us would have wanted Dujon to be playing right now because I think a lot of persons has a high expectation for him, especially for the U20.
Yes,
So
yes,
the
I
fact that
really
he
want.
isn't the fact that he isn't playing now, because I think it's what, almost 14 months now he hasn't really played
Hasn't played
consecutive
any
football.
football. Mm.
So it is I just hope everything does sort out. If it's even a situation where he can't get the work permit for Chelsea, if we can loan him out outside as quickly as possible so that he can get game time because he's 18
Yeah,
in a
get
year's.
him somewhere to so he can play. And people, please hit the like button on the video. If you just came in, please hit the like button. We only have like 10 likes on the video, and it's 100 of us in here. Please hit the like button on the video, people. Thank you. It's 2024. Let's not spend time on like button and talk more football. Yeah, man. Welcome to Sports Prophecy, the home of where we are unfiltered and we speak our minds. As long as it's allegedly, then we cannot be sued. So, all right, continue, Shavan. Big up yourself, Jamaica Guna.
Yeah, so hopefully Whisper situation is sorted soon because we need the kid to be playing right now. We need all the best from him. But the players from Belgium, hopefully we can. I don't know if anybody would be able to
I
get
hope
some
we get
information.
some clarity on that. I hope we get some clarity on that. So, people, let me just revise the story. So, the story goes allegedly that the players, all the Craig Butler players that were basically sent to the team that he bought, are now back in Jamaica. They're no longer a part of the team. It's alleged that the players, so there's some financial dispute. I don't know if it's because players weren't getting paid or Mr. Butler is allegedly not paying the players as the club is paying them, and he's supposed to pay them through his third party. So I don't know. I'm not in Belgium. I'm in Europe, Boss Thomas. JD is in Belgium. I think JD would probably be more versed in the Belgium situation. So all those players, so it's all 10 players are back on the island now, right, Shavan?
Allegedly, based I know I
Allegedly.
saw one. I know I saw one Saturday. I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
I saw one on Saturday. He was one of the players that got regular minutes for the club in Belgium,
Mhm.
but from November, none of them has played. None of them have played. Bitnell, Marquise Reed. I think Travis had sent it. Mirac, the club had 4 games in December. From the last time that they played, I think they had 4 games after that. So I don't think it's off season because I think the club actually has games coming up. Because I'm looking at the club's website now, and the club has a game soon, I think. Let me see. Well, I don't have the information fully right now, but if I see it, I'll bring it up. But yeah, oh, I think I can now.
Okay,
So the
so
club has a game on Sunday.
Yeah. So Shavan, I'm getting a text message here that reads, "This is from the Jamaica Football Federation Limited, Jamaica National Registration Transfer Certificate here for Dujon Whisper, and it's showing that Dujon Whisper Club is Harborview in the parish of Saint Anne, and it's also club to transfer is required. He went to
Saint
Corville
Anne or Saint
Gardens.
Andrew?
Yes, St. Andrew. He went
Saint
to
Anne or
Corville.
Saint
St. Andrew.
Court.
St. Andrew. He went to Corville Gardens, and reason for leaving, he says, personal. I asked for blah blah blah. They don't want to make. So Dujon Whisper is not even listed as a Phoenix Academy player on the Jamaica Football Federation National Registration Transfer Certificate. What's that's weird. That is strange.
And that's an official document.
It says from the Jamaica Football Federation Limited. I think this is must be and it says CONCACAF and it says FIFA up here. So guys, I don't know, man. So did the situation get sorted out where the other clubs are compensated that Dujon Whisper came up through as well? And what about all these other players? Because even the kid Saka, he's still with Harborview, right? He went to Belgium. Did he sign in Belgium through Harborview or through Phoenix Academy? This thing is so messy, man. It's so weird.
I think what will happen is that, and what we can do, if their rumors are true that he's coming back to Harborview, so if Harborview does announce that if he does come back to Harborview and he's playing, and Harborview announces that they've successfully signed the player, then we can say Harity was transferred. But if Harborview said the player is just coming back, there is no transfer process or anything, that would indicate that the player hadn't left Harborview at all. Because as what Brian had said
So how would
earlier,
the player would be playing in Belgium at that club?
Mr. The player hasn't actually been playing. He hasn't, based off what I'm seeing here, just based off the stats that I'm looking at, which can be wrong, he hasn't actually played a game for them.
Yeah, it's over 100 and something minutes that all 10 players totally combined got at the club. Like the players didn't get a lot of playing time there. And I think that could come down to frustration as well, Shavan, where players are there in Belgium, not necessarily getting paid, missing their families, not getting playing time, and they're just there in Belgium. And I tell people this, even me right now, where they're Europe, trust me, people, if I get the money tomorrow, I'm going back to Jamaica. I don't know about anybody. People would say, but JT, you're there foreign. Bro, I don't know about anybody. Me then around my family and seeing my friends and just having the weather in Jamaica and the less stress. That's what I'm trying to get back to. A lot of people don't understand the I would say the peace that comes with living in Jamaica. I know everybody wants to go to foreign and everybody should go ahead. But I've been here for a while, bro. I've been here for a while and it doesn't get better. It's just what it is. Some nice shopping malls, some tall buildings, you jump on some train, but you don't have that camaraderie. You don't have people around you who necessarily love you. It's just, you're in a strange land, just walking around with just knowing a few people. It can take a toll on you. People need to know that in these foreign countries, it can, and Europe, right now, those players in Belgium probably is like, whoa, they're probably not even enjoying the game anymore. Waking up, training every morning in the cold weather, you're not getting playing time, you're sitting on the bench, you go back to your hotel room. Like those things can take a toll on those youngsters.
So you think that could be a reason why the players may have been sent back from November? Because they weren't accustomed. But Xander Bicknell has been in Germany for some time now.
It can be a number of things, bro. It can be a number of things. Boss Thomas says JT soon come to lie. Don't worry. I just hope other kids and parents educate themselves about the business of football because these can damage the youth. Yeah, bro. I'm just dropping off some kids in Belgium. It's not necessarily the most ideal thing. So Harborview Football Club transfer. Welcome to 3 new Harborview signees in March 2022 transfer window. 2 returns home from being in our Harborview U teams in striker Colorado Murray from Waterhouse and midfielder Kevin Saka Wilson from Mount Pleasant Academy FC. Forward Nicholas Hamilton joins as a return. So this kid has been at Harborview since 2022. Since March 2022, he has returned, and he was also a youth player. So was it Mr. Butler who took Saka to Europe, right?
Yeah, he was listed on the page. He's listed. Well, as I mentioned, the page shows 2 profiles. One of the profiles said that he is still at Harborview, and the next one said that he was transferred from Phoenix Academy to Vice or whatever the club is named.
Yeah. Oh God, it's like with Mr. Butler. Mr. Butler, I think so the New Year's, man. You had such a brilliant ending to the year last year, but maybe this is something. Let's be fair to Mr. Butler. Maybe this is something that none of us really have the answer for. Maybe
Yeah.
this is something that it can be a thing where Mr. Butler decide to pull his stake out of the club. We don't know. We haven't heard him say anything about that, and I think living in Jamaica and having shares in a club in Europe gets a bit complicated as well when it comes on to taxes, when it comes on to ownership, um, and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of deal Mr. Butler made, but obviously he's probably made the best deal. Yes, it's very cold also here in Denmark, my friend Johan. Big up yourself. I don't think Big Nell has not made any league appearance as yet in Belgium. He's
He
young,
played
mostly
2
the older
games.
Phoenix players. So football guru, out of the 10 players, as I said, that went to Belgium, I think they accumulated must have over 100 and something minutes combined, not one
Yeah,
player. So
Bitnell played
they
2
weren't playing.
games. Bitnell played 2 games actually.
Yeah. And one of them scored a goal because I read it on the website, but they weren't playing there, guys. That's the thing, this is the thing. When Mr. Butler comes out and he speaks on like Sportsmax and TVJ and CVM, Jamaican people just take that because that's what they see and they're like, oh, Mr. Butler is like really. They don't really dive into the intricacies that comes in with moving a player, signing a player, taking him to a foreign country, FIFA rules, club rules, academy rules. I'm not even versed in a lot of the stuff. I'm sure Mr. Butler has more knowledge than all of us in this because he's been doing this. This is what he does. He's been doing this. Um, Obviously, we don't ever have Mr. Butler on this show, so we will never know. Mr. Butler will come out and say his piece and he will speak on what he think it is. We don't know what it is, but it's just shocking that all 10 players are now back in Jamaica. And it seems like the stories now is joining back up with the Martin Davis story, as it was stated that Martin Davis, the money that he was supposed to be getting paid, after the money get to the allegedly get to Mr. Butler, the money that he gets was totally not the amount of money, and he just wanted to quit football, so he had to stop playing. And then I think his mom had to represent him or something for him to like get out of that FIFA, out of the contract, and get out of that jam up situation that he had. So another thing, parents, learn from Richie Royal's situation with Dujon Whisper. And I'm not telling any parent not to send their son to Mr. Butler because he's good at what he does. He has the track record. He has 2 players out there right now. All I'm saying is, if you're gonna take your kids to Phoenix Academy or any academy in Jamaica, please just get the ground information on how player transfer works and moving players. and the clubs that they developed in and grassroots, and please just find out those little basic information. Don't just go drop off your son and say you hear say I go pro. And then when time deal for sign uno come a ball say Mr. Butler Rabuno, and because at the end of the day, Mr. Butler is probably smarter than a lot of the parents that he's dealing with. And not saying smarter in a book way, he has more knowledge about the business of football than 90% of parents who take their kids to him. So I would advise any parent, when you're going to drop off your child, please, please just even Google and read over some things of how it works with players and movement, so you don't run into these things. So because I, for me, Shavan, dropping off a 17 and 18-year-old kid or 18-year-old kid in Europe, he needs to be going in a good situation.
Especially if the country doesn't actually speak English to that as well. Um, I mean, it's a again, if the story is even 10% what is being said, it's a bit concerning. Because I know a lot of those kids, especially Marquise Reed. I know that he was someone that a lot of persons had a lot of interest in, especially going overseas, colleges overseas, etc., etc. I know, I know players that are back here now say that they wish they had the opportunity where they had could have gotten an opportunity to play back college.
Mhm.
But no, they may have lost that because of what they were told. So I said, hopefully what we heard, hopefully what has been going around isn't true. I mean, we haven't heard it a lot. We haven't heard it from the local media, the big media houses. So hopefully there isn't a lot of truth to it. But if it is a bit concerning. Especially for the school of Mona. That's one situation because if a situation like that happens where they may have used an ineligible player,
Yeah, then Mona
then
would be, yeah.
they
But
will
I
be
hope
stripped
this
of the
doesn't
title.
happen again, because why I don't want this to happen, Shavan. I don't want Mr. Butler to go on another campaign that the whole world is against him and tearing him down. I would rather him be utilized in a proper way where we don't have this back and forth this year. Kira Anderson being told if he continue his farm for us at Charlton, he will be in good contention for the Copa America. Yeah, I think he's one of our core players. I think Mr. Butler should buy or start a club and start from there. I I thought that the Phoenix Academy should branch off as well in a club as well, where the academy is, you have Manchester United Academy, and you have Manchester United, you have Phoenix Academy, and you have Phoenix United or something. So his players can also get professional time in his club, because I do think Mr. Butler can take a club to the Premier League in Jamaica without a doubt. I give him 2 to 3 years and he's there. I
Yeah,
strongly believe.
because I remember he was playing tier two, the last tier two season.
Mm.
He was managing a club in Portland or St. Thomas, one of them.
Senton,
Uh,
Senton. I heard that they got it handed to them. They didn't
no
do
man,
well.
no man, it wasn't St. Ann. The team from St. Ann is the one that got promoted. There was Brownstone and Limal from St. Ann, but I think it was Port. Yeah, it was Portland. It was a team in
I'm talking
Portland,
about the
and
club that Mr. Butler was coaching that they
no
didn't.
man, it was Portland. It was Portland, man. It wasn't the two teams from St. Ann last year was
Someone says
Brownstone.
St. Thomas. Jerome Williams says St.
Yes,
Thomas.
St. Thomas. Yeah, so yeah, I know it wasn't St. Ann because the two team from St. Thomas from St. Ann were Limal and
He
Brownstone,
says
which was
it's called
basically
Baptist Alliance.
Alliance. Yeah, I know that this team got a lot of beating. And I don't know if he got sacked or he left.
Read the
Um,
comment, Shaban. Ryan says Dennis is 3 card man, so Butler is 4 card man. I listen to him speak from time to time, and he does not sound straight to me. And bro, like Mr. Butler just need to remove this thing in his head that everybody is fighting against him.
I
Like,
mean, no, because even Saturday, I had to give him his when is the All-Man team. You could see the superiority in those players compared to the team that he was, and I had to give him his credit.
You did come on and give him his credit. Because listen, and our discussions on YouTube is never based around how good Craig Butler is as a coach or as a developer. Most of our qualms with Mr. Butler on YouTube is the way how he sells player and builds them up, which we can't really blame him because that's his marketing strategy and it works for him. And also the way he operates when it comes on to moving players, or there's always some mystery around things where the information is just not connecting 100%. He just that's one of my major problem with Mr. Butler. It's always that when he says something, there's some truth in it, but it's never 100% what it is, what he says. It's never 100%, because even with him saying he bought a club, a lot of people just hear, oh, Mr. Butler bought a club in Belgium. You don't just leave Jamaica and buy a club in Belgium. Listen, when even the Chinese or the Arabs and the Saudis and a lot of them are trying to own clubs in Europe, a lot of them has to go through these shell companies in Cyprus, and where the name of the owner, it goes to this other company in Hong Kong. And, it's all these shell companies, and you have to dig so deep before you even find the owner. And then they have a front man. And you have to have a lot of money to basically invest. A lot of European countries have investment schemes. I think Malta might be one of them. And Cyprus, if you invest over a certain amount of millions, you get a citizenship in either Malta and Cyprus. So there's a certain amount of, you get a citizenship if you invest, I think maybe over 2 million or 1 million, you get that. I think it's also in St. Kitts as well, a few of those countries. Pastor is not here yet, Devon Porter, but Devon Porter, today is the day you can jump on, because we're going to talk about the quota system after this, because I didn't really like, Mr. Speed scared me. Mr. Speed, you scared me. So as I'm saying that Mr. Butler moving players, it's just always a little bit a problem there where the information is just not correct. It's the way how he speaks on Sportsmax, and he just says these things and people are like, yeah, Mr. Butler did it again. And then he comes on and said, watch it, and people are bad mind, them are fine. Mr. Butler, nobody is fighting you, bro. We know your problem.
Probably Travis a fight him.
Yeah, maybe Iman Travis is fighting, and he wants Mr. Raymond Anderson in there. Mr. Butler wants Mr. Raymond Anderson in there, scares the living hell out of me, because that tells me that Mr. Raymond Anderson and Mr. Butler came to some agreement. Whatever that is, I don't want to hear that agreement. You know what I mean? For Mr. Butler coming out, I would have thought that Mr. Butler would have been neutral, though what he's saying does make sense based on his stance on why he would want Mr. Raymond Anderson to win, because at the end of the day, you can't be trying the same thing every day and expect a different result. So he's basically saying if Raymond Anderson comes in, things are going to change. The problem that I run into with Raymond Anderson is there are people saying, why don't Raymond Anderson just expose the JFF and speak about everything that went on wrong? People, Raymond Anderson cannot do that. If Raymond Anderson does that, he then incriminates himself. Raymond Anderson is the vice president of the JFF. What is he going to do? Expose an organization that he's the vice president of? So Raymond Anderson he's so flawed in his campaign is flawed. You see me I say? His campaign is no, you can be. You see me I say? His campaign is flawed. Raymond Anderson, we can wait till Jesus Christ come. Raymond Anderson cannot come out and expose anything in the JFF, because he is the JFF. He still is the JFF. He's a part of the engine of the JFF. So Raymond Anderson has to come out and be a nice guy. And what he does is he accumulates all these people and he creates a team of influencers. The people that Raymond Anderson has on his team, not saying that these individuals are not competent, but I realized that he went for a lot of people with big names, people who has clout. You see me I say? what's this lady named Nita, the lawyer, those people, Dave Cameron is a president. So people are saying, whoa, Raymond Anderson really is plugged in with all these people. Maybe Raymond Anderson also has the ability to get into the private sector and get more sponsorship. I don't know. But Raymond Anderson, I would have support anybody else who, if somebody was allowed to come from the outside into the JFF, I would support them. I just cannot support Mr. Anderson being a part of the shenanigans and being a part of this quagmire that has been plaguing Jamaica football for decades. You know my stance on the JFF. And I said, I try to not spend too much time on them. The JFF is just a branch of the FIFA mafia. FIFA sets the tempo of how they do things. Issa Allen, talk to me, my boss.
Yes. Can the viewers hear me?
Yeah, man, they can hear you.
You sort it out. Okay, you sort it out. And what about the panelists?
The panelists can't hear you, because we need to we need to get that he can hear you. You can't hear him. But by tomorrow, that's gonna be sorted out. I got another plug today, is to go into the mixer. I realized it was giving a feedback from the panelists and from the phone call. So I got another plug today. So tomorrow that's gonna be sorted. But I'm on to it. Today is the last day. As you can see, what do you think about the new improved look on the channel?
It's looking good, bro. I like it, man. I respect it. I know you guys are always looking to improve. That's how it goes,
Yes.
You improve, and we like it, man. Come on, brother.
All right, my boss. Yeah, man. Me check out some of your videos. Let me see. I never know see a big dancer, man.
That's cool, man.
All right, my boss. Listen. So what you talking about today? What we talking? We talking football.
Me just want latch on for the last thing where they mentioned about Mr. Anderson. The thing is, JT, I mean, Carol Beckford, former West Indies president Dave Cameron, is a president, Keith Wellington. You think Raymond Anderson is going to be the one leading those persons?
No way. He doesn't have the clout to lead those people, man. Those people are all leaders. That's another thing. How much bull can rain in a one pen?
That's the thing too. And then if you look on the other side, people been say Mr. Speed around JFF for years. But yet still we have a president. Me hear on mainstream radio this morning, they must say, oh, Mr. Speed been around JFF for years. So it's not like we're getting anything different from both sides. It's not they're like pseudo leaders. They're just figureheads. You see me, I say, so even if them put up Raymond Anderson, in my mind, me say Raymond Anderson I go lead. I've seen what is happening currently, and it doesn't look like a Michael Ricketts a lead. And over at Raymond Anderson's side, it doesn't look like a Imago lead either. So either way, you go say, oh, vote for Michael Ricketts and I vote for Raymond Anderson. And no, the two of them are going to lead. You see me, I say, so who is on both slates? Who you think you would support? You would support Rudolph Speed, or you would support Dave Cameron? You would support Bruce Gaynor, or you would support Carol Beckford?
My problem is this. No, my problem is what I'm scared about again with Dave Cameron. I know that some of the stance that Dave Cameron took as president of the West Indies Cricket Board was for the benefit of for regional cricket. And he did get some good things done. But Dave Cameron can come off to be a Dalton Wintish when it comes on to being very...
With Dalton Wint. With
the players. With the players.
Dave Cameron and Rudolph Speed, the two of them, you just have to pick which one are the better evils you want. Because the two of them is arrogant. They have a similar type of personality.
Yeah, and Dave Cameron is never wrong. Dave Cameron is never wrong. If you listen to Dave Cameron,
Mr. Speed is never wrong either.
Never wrong.
Mr. Speed come and say wrong.
Mr. Speed is. I don't know if Mr. Speed done any course in law, but I have to tell you this: Mr. Speed probably
Mr. Speed. I heard somebody on the radio this morning saying Mr. Speed, anybody like Captain, closest to Captain Burrell, or Mr. Speed? When it come on to the law, politics is like, you can't get around him.
Yeah,
You
I
see
think
me I
Mr.
say?
Speed was very good at playing hide and seek when he was growing up. Because when you look at Mr. Speed or listen to him in conversation, he's hiding the truth right in front of people.
Right in front of you. Right in
And
front of you.
it's like, and I have respect for Mr. Speed. I say why I have respect for Mr. Speed is I cannot blame a person who utilizes the loopholes that's created are left open,
Right.
because that's what the millionaires are even Donald Trump, I remember in his election bid, they said, Donald Trump, you didn't even pay any tax, you went into bankruptcy. He says, yeah, I did take advantage of that because it's there on the books. So Mr. Speed is taking advantage of the laws that are in front of him. And that's why Mr. Speed hasn't been jammed up yet for anything.
I think I heard him on management program. He said one thing with the law, man say you will bend it, you will squeeze it, you will jerk it, or you will whatever, but you never break it.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand?
Exactly. And that's what Mr. Speed has done with Cavaliers.
But this man, me kind of, what I want for the Football Federation, this morning, me listen to a program, me kind of have a change of that because I was saying I don't want nothing to do with the Ricketts camp. But if that means that we will have a strong leader, we need a strong leader. We need a strong leader. That's all we want. You understand? A man, we are going to put his foot down and make things happen. You see what I say? Even though for the last couple of years we've been seeing the same people over and over. And what my big issue is that if Michael Ricketts' team wins, I don't think it's gonna be another cycle over again where we're not gonna get rid of him.
No, but guys, this is why I stood down. This is why I stood down of the JFF consistent bombardment or just beating the JFF. I've realized that the people that I'm trying to get out, I'm asking the same people to get them one another out.
Then that not happen.
That not go happen, brother. It's like me and tell if you mash up with your woman, I had like me and tell if you left your woman, I'll do it. She toxic and really and brother, I can't asleep at night time, but I don't gone in the two and all cost me. So that's why I realize say that the JFF thing, bro, we don't really move. I have to say the YouTube space have moved the needle as far as putting pressure on the JFF to come up with better practices and maybe being a bit more competent. They haven't fully accomplished that or come to basically optimize their process to work smoothly as yet. But we have seen improvement through the pressure from the YouTubers. But I think the YouTubers sometimes get carried away and don't realize that their powers are limited as far as the power structure. The power structure is set up in the JFF. It insulates the individuals inside. There's just one part of the JFF constitution where from you read that, you feel no say it we can't do nothing. Is nobody outside the JFF cannot go in there and run for president. You see, that alone tell me that, bro, we're in a lot of problems.
And then this is what I'm saying is if they win this election, is like this will just solidify the regime that they have going now. Because once Rudolph Speed got vice president, you're not getting back out. You're not getting back out probably until him want come out or him dead. May I tell you that. It's my say so it would be the end of this regime if Raymond and the city win. Reason I say that is because they're gonna get persons who are not necessarily from that group of people. It's a matter, but if they win, it's gonna be that regime till the end of time because there's no way to get them out.
It's just another cycle. And people, please hit the like button on the video. We have 109 people in here. We only have about 20 likes on the video. Come on, it's 2024 people. I'm bringing you proper content. I'm upgrading the channel. Try to get the quality up to international standard when it comes on to podcasts. So please just show your appreciation for the hard work by just hitting the like button. That's it. It's just one press on your smartphone and that's it. Not asking you to dig in your pocket or anything. Just hit the like button on the video. That's all I'm asking. Thank you. Go ahead, Issa.
JT,
Mhm.
what I'm saying also is if the real solid action team wins, how soon after that you think the Keith Wellingtons, the Dave Camerons, those guys will be up for president? You see what I say?
I don't
So
even like the name of the solid action. It sounds like the solid waste management. That it just sounds like some other new corruption thing at Jamaica, bro. Me not even like the name of it, the solid action. It just sounds it's so weird, bro.
It's so that way, man. But I said, I think I said this regime is going to continue if Michael Ricketts win, and if the other team win, we might see more outside people coming on board and actually in the JFF if the other team wins, because they have already put people on their slate who are not from that circle. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is, because the way the Constitution set up, if you're in, you're going in for a while, because there's no way to get out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the more people you get from outside on a team, I would think in my mind, if that team wins, then it would be opening the doors for other persons to come on board. But if the mafia side win, you know them will keep them thing. You see what I'm saying? But all I want is strong leadership.
Yeah. So the quota system, let's dive into the quota system. This is a great way to segue into that. We're moving along nicely, people. We're gonna organize this show just like this more. We have our points. We went through the Craig Butler thing. As I said, all Craig Butler 10 players are back in Jamaica from Belgium. I think something went on. The information is not fully, but the players are speaking. Certain things will be divulged later on during the show. No, let's talk about the quota system at the under 20 level. Mr. Speed, you're scaring me, bro. You're scaring me, Mr. Speed. The number 7, I thought he was speaking about L.A. Lewis, but the man said it's only 7 players, and then the coach will have to what he said, the coach need to let him know, what's the word that he used?
Justify the other.
Justify. So, Mr. Speed, what I would want to ask you then, Mr. Rudolph Speed, is the justification, can the justification being that Mr. John Wall thinks, and Mr. Speed, wouldn't the justifications being apparent already based on what John Wall has said, where a lot of players at this level doesn't have enough professional minutes? Wouldn't that be a justification? And wouldn't also the justification means also be a thing where the players locally are just not good enough? Doesn't that justify you getting in better players? Mr. Speed, the under 20, we just need to give we one. Mr. Speed, just give me one try out of the under 20. Give John Wall one try, and then go back to phone things if it doesn't work. Let's just do what we're doing with the senior team, where we qualify for the Copa. We're in the semifinals of the Nations League. More monies in the JFF coffers. More publicity for Jamaica. Movement in the rankings. Can you just give us Mr. Speed? Mr. Speed is here. Mr. Speed is here. Yeah.
Oh, he's here?
Yes. So Issa, him can't hear, but you're not gonna hear him. So yeah, what? You're gonna call back after Mr. Speed, because Mr. Speed scared the living hell out of me with this quota system. So we'll talk. Here, Issa Allen. All right. Mr. Speed, 7. When me hear that, me understand the under 15 level. As I said, I'm okay with 23 local players, because, and then the under 17 as well can be, I can say, can be Jamaica heavy, but it needs to be the kids who kick on from the under 15, because under 15 you would have then filter out the best ones up to the U17s, and then no, U17s you're also filtering out the best there to get to the under 20s. But if you have a thing, Mr. Speed, where it's what no, it's what? You have 16 players now. So it would be 16 players would have to come from Jamaica.
So, me not understand what you're saying because, all right. So I hope you did listen to the other team where you're talking about their manifesto. They don't want nobody at all to play from overseas to play for Jamaica team. You did realize that?
No, we know that. We know that about.
Cool. So when you go to a board meeting with a policy, you need to get votes. So you have to understand. So if you get a position, you have to come to a compromise. So because if we go and say more pure overseas, and the next man say no want no overseas, and we stuck, how you get a compromise? So to achieve anything, you have to come to a compromise. And the compromise was at the under 20 level, the coach can pick 7 players and we don't question him. You say after that, he need to verify, he need to justify why I'm going for more foreign-based players. So he could end up with 20 foreign-based players, you know. He could have done 20, you know. He just need to justify it.
But Mr. Speed, what I'm saying, is it the justification based on how he explained that, as they said, the few professional players are in your club in Jamaica who's getting professional minutes?
No, there's 25. There's about 25 people in the clubs from Jamaica. All 25 is not mine.
Okay. No, I wouldn't. No, I guess with professional minutes. What I was talking about. Isn't that your club is probably the club where most of those kids are actually getting playing time?
Yeah, but John, look here, you're trying to get the argument. John, look here, the last World Cup under 20, where Fuzzy coached a team. Fuzzy had 9 players on it to come from overseas. The last one that Miran coach, when carried him had his quota is 5, he had about 8 players on it to come from overseas, plus 3 reserve. He had 11 players. What is the problem? Just follow the rules. So we were able to get a deal at the board to say he gets 7 and him justify any more he want. Just take him 7 and justify more instead of trying to go and leak stories to the media, to YouTube to say we are stopping from picking the right team. Nobody's stopping him. Justify it. Go for people from Barcelona and Manchester United and Arsenal and say them here better than what we have locally. That's why I want them. And they're fine. That's all we ask. Right? Yeah. Let me tell you something. In the under 20 team with Xavier Gilbert, there was 14 persons in there from overseas.
I understand what you're saying now, but I'm looking at it like this, Mr. Speed. I believe that we can leverage the diaspora to kickstart the program and bring through the best local quality. Instead of starting, we tried it. No.
My biggest fear is that one of our job is to make sure that Jamaica have a team. Just when the senior reggae girls strike, suppose we didn't have a reserve team in action and then decide to them play. What would happen to Jamaica? We get big final, we can't be our band or something to turn up for official tournaments. So all I'm saying, look, we have some local players, put them in a camp. Then you carry overseas players and eliminate if you think them when you improve them better. That's all. But look here, we're not going to send on to 7 because we are give you a free hand, pick 7. When you pass 7, we want to know why. That's all. You know what it helps us to do too? As a committee, it helps us to look where we shortfall from a planning point of view to say, well, the Jamaican players are ready, we need to do X, Y, Z to bring them up to the same level. But you just come and pick 18 player, give us a list 18 player from overseas and say them here. All right. So how do we know that you never have any comparative player locally? I tell you, people just don't remember certain things. We have seen occasions where we pick overseas player and after we pick them, the coach realizes they're not good enough like the local players. After them pick out, see them 1 or 2 times, you think they're good, but after you start seeing them days in, days out, you realize that you still have local players. So all we're saying, just verify. Just make sure that these players are what we are.
Look at it this way. How I'm looking at it, Mr. Speed, I look at the under 20 because a lot of the problems that we have in the senior team, I'm looking for at least 2 or 3 players to break through the under 20 to come in and bolster the team or gain experience and help and kick on. If we have, let's say we have 23 local players right now in the U20s, do you see any local players in the U20 who can represent Jamaica at the senior level right now in
Yeah, there
Jamaica?
is. But you know, there is. But I won't call any name because I don't pick players. You see, even with these restrictions, nobody's picking
No,
any
I'm
players.
asking you from a scout perspective, Mr. Speed. I'm talking to Mr. Speed, the coach now.
Yeah,
The
me.
coach
If,
would look
yeah,
at
and you know me have my ability. I said yes. I won't tell
Okay.
you the name, but I
Yeah.
said yes.
Can get into this Jamaica team
Yeah,
and
I've
maybe
seen worse player playing in Jamaica team than the player that I'm thinking, or the players that I'm thinking.
currently no.
Not the senior Jamaica team, but probably the second string Jamaica team, yes.
Okay, and that's where we're saying no, Mr. Speed. So that's why we want the under 20 quality. Because I do remember that I got into a lot of problems with the quota thing. As I said, I can agree with some level of quota, but it cannot be binding.
But there's no binding level. We said to the coaches, pick 7, and then after that, talk to us. Them employ themselves.
No, I agree.
Exactly.
You're the
So why we
employer.
are pretend like them employ themselves? Everybody else do it. Fuzzy do it. Him come back, him ask him more. We say, okay. Miran do it. We say, okay. Xavier do it. We say, okay. Why? Come on. What is
So,
this
Mr.
thing?
Speed, it seems like there's some disagreement happening there because the story leaked out, and I know you always been quite outright and straightforward with these things. Do you think it's gonna work out where you guys and John Wall could get to a place where you meet in the middle and it works out for everybody? Because I think he brings something as well
It's
that
a
we.
board rule, you know. It's a board rule. Let me and John Wall in an argument. Oh, come on. We're not into any argument. Him know the rule. He need to follow the rule like everybody else. That's it. He knows the rule. He needs to follow the rule like everybody else. When him reach 7, then him come and say, "Me need these 3 more because we don't have enough people to play this position or this position." Talk to the technical committee. We agree and we move on. What is so? Hold on. He mustn't talk to us.
No, I understand because you can't just have a person come in the company and just having free reign and just run the show because
let me tell you something, see, and I hesitate to say it, but there have been reports where we have reports of things like this happening with somebody, you know what we are going to say. I don't want to even say. All right. So again, we don't have no issue with the amount of players where them pick to play because they are the coach and we don't tie them on. All we are saying, when you reach a certain amount, justify it after that.
Okay, and is quality one of the parameters that you use to justify?
Of course. Then suppose you come with a player from Barcelona, you know what my thing is, and I'm not afraid. If a player come from one top team in the world, in any one of the top 10 leagues in the world, I will never even open my mouth about picking that player. Will never, because I have those leagues have the best coaches, and those players would have gone through a lot of top coaches in the world and reach the top. So I wouldn't even open my mouth about those players. Now, if you come with an academy player and say he must make the national 20 team and he is an academy player, then I would have a problem with an academy player because why are you going to no minutes or no play professional and so. And that is why I would say just justify it.
Okay,
Simple request.
So as long as, because Mr. Speed, I think this under 20 competition, the fact that the team has progressed to the Copa America, World Cup qualifiers are coming. I think this under 20 is not one of them one day where we just make slide and we just go there.
I am one of the first persons to say we must use professional player only. Remember me say so for a long time, you know. So don't people, and then I hear the quote saying that no, but I was the one who was saying that from years ago. So
yeah, and we give you credit for that, Mr. Speed. And what we always give you credit for as well is you're not afraid to play young players. Because one of the things that I was speaking to somebody here, and they're saying that where a lot of semi-professional leagues fail is the players are too old. They're saying that semi-professional leagues, you need to be as young as possible if you really want to move players abroad and get the best out of them and the development. So I think you're on the right track there. So are you planning to even maybe get younger at Cavaliers? Are there anything? I don't know. I'm just asking because that's.
We're going to Cavaliers. No, well, I mean, Cavaliers as a business model, and we're going to stick to it. So we try to get them as young as possible. Tell them to listen, we don't want you around here after 2-3 years, please go. And we develop them like that, because at the end of the day, we have all seen a lot of people who try to just win leagues and don't run a business, or it affects their family and their well-being in the long run. And that's not something we want to deal with. So Cavalry will always go young and try and get the players them out overseas so they can continue their education. Yeah.
So, Mr. Speed, so we can sleep well now, knowing that basically what you're saying is, so this was also a deal that it wasn't just one person like you came up with it. Because a lot of people might just say, Mr. Speed, come up and say 7. That's the next thing in the Mr. Speed, where me and a lot of people on YouTube, them did things to me a liar or them thing there, but it's like I always try to understand things. No, you're saying people are making it look like you are the one who has implemented a 7-player quota system, but what you're saying it was a deal negotiated
in the boardroom
by the other all parties.
Everybody, all the directors are there, and them agree that this is a compromise. But I can tell you, some don't want even one person from overseas to play on the team. I am not that person.
I agree with that, and I think that's what scares a lot of people about Mr. Raymond Anderson's campaign. When he said have an elite team in Jamaica, we don't see the elite team. Maybe have a few clubs that are playing. Your club, Arnett Garden, and you can maybe find some play Harborview, but they still won't be elite, because if they're elite, they need to be out of Jamaica and kicking on to. So I think we're on a good path there, and let's get 2 in a row, Mr. Speed. Copa America and get the under 20s there. I think we have an opportunity there.
I think so too. And we didn't get it right again because there's only a few of these players have passport. You know my stance on passport though. Me have a little problem when the JFF have to be the one applying for passport, because if you make any mistake and or with anything because you don't know the details of certain things, say them are born Jamaica for 2 years. So me have a problem with the passport.
Jeff, you don't want to be the one liable. So it cannot be a situation where the individuals put in their passport and then the JFF can then notify the passport office that
to help. Yes.
To get these processes.
But the individual must start it. Yes. That's my stance. You start it. You tell me where your grandfather and your mother or whoever come from. You do all of that part, and then we call and say, okay, we have that over there. Can you help us? That's how I would prefer it. Yes.
I think that's the way to. Now that you spoke about the liability that comes with the JFF, maybe a wrong name and them things, so not try change people date of birth for play. And no, I didn't even thought of that. That can be a bit tricky. So only 4 players have passport.
Last time I checked, I don't know since last week if anybody has come through off the list. So again, we have to be careful that we actually have a team to play. So if we just say we have 18 overseas and just focus on that, and then just look on 2 local, and then when we're supposed to send in the list, I think the 23rd of this month, we only have say 10 eligible person. What are we going to do?
But he said they can go in on the list of 60 though, right? The provisional.
No, remember, we have one competition right now, first. And then there's another one in June. So remember, we have one round first now. In February. After we pass that stage, and we go on again. So people can come on afterwards.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah. But so it's only, so as we stand now, it's only 4 players potentially who can even. So we're gonna have to get the bulk of these players. That's from Jamaica.
If we get more passport by the 23rd, then you can put them in. But until that, and that is the cutoff date that we have. I think it's the 23rd or 24th. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But is at the end of this month.
And then the next set of guys would now have to. So Jamaica would also have to win some games in this first round to kick on.
Yeah, but it's the Caribbean teams we're playing. We should be able to get past them once we train properly.
Jesus Christ, Mr. Speedy, I sound like nobody else now improve.
No. Look here. In the Caribbean, they were catching up on us a couple years ago. But I think we kind of make some adjustments, better coaching. We are able to employ coaches from overseas. So I think remember Jamaicans are not bad players, and it's really the coaching not up to standard some of the time. So now we have better coaches in Jamaica, and we have employ coaches from overseas, not local coaches. I think we're in a better stead, to be honest.
Okay, so we have Lansley Blake on here, and Lansley Blake, we're gonna make this keep the questions precise, short, and snappy. Let's not go into Obama speech on each question. All right, Mr. Blake, Pastor.
Good afternoon to the persons in the chat, the host, and the guest, all of the panelists. Mr. Speed,
yes, sir.
My first question to you is which of the caps you're wearing first? Is it the chairperson of the selecting committee? Which of the caps are you wearing first?
I don't really care which question you want to ask, so I don't need any caps. So, but and you guys come with this thing all the time. Just hold on. Let me just make this point straight. Every time it's Speed, there's a conflict, and then the rest of people in Jamaica have two. Some coach have 4 jobs, some have 10 positions. But you never ask them these questions. Just ask a question, man, and I'll answer.
No, Mr. Speed.
Just ask the question. Just ask. No matter which question you ask, I'll answer. I'm not afraid of questions.
But Mr. Speed, you seem a bit agitated today. Look
yeah,
like
but I'm tired of this conflict stupidness, and then everybody's have a conflict and then I bring it up. So
which is Mr. Speed? I'm a problem solver, I know. I'm a problem solver. All right. What I want to what
now
are some
we're not cap. Look at me head. I don't have
Speed, let me just solve this. Maybe just come like when you're on the show and we in a free flow and we don't want anybody to feel. We're gonna bring you in, Lansley. Mr. Speed, what are some of the things that probably just agitate you based on just random information that's been thrown out with no substance?
Right. Because I'm right. So one of the things that irritate me, people trying to get me not to do things because I'm good at most things. That's the thing, So it just come across to me like, okay, Speed, why you coaching Cavalier? Hey, me are the best coach. Me are the only man have an A license in the Caribbean. We get it in the Caribbean. So why you don't want me for coach? All right, Speed. Why you are JFF Technical Committee Chairman? Well, it's me then choose. Why are you the president of the Coach Association? We have 82 coaches and then choose me. Why are you the president of Jamaica Volleyball Association? Because the people find me and say, Mr. Speed, we need your help, desperate to come and help us, come and help. Why are you the head of Commonwealth Games at JOA for JOA? Or the people say, oh, yeah, best chef de mission ever. Why are you people trying to say we mustn't do things because I'm good at things? Come on, just ask a question and move right along. I'll answer it.
All right. So JT, let me respond to what Mr. Speed just said. Mr. Speed just accused me of being like everybody else.
Pastor, which is so we're not going to do it today.
No, hold on.
The question.
No, hold on.
Ask Mr. Speed, brother.
One of the reason I asked Mr. Speed about which cap he is, Mr. Speed is a coach. You hear how many things he said he's involved in? So I am asking him the question in relation to and I know that
question pertaining to the cap you want him to wear. Ask that question pertaining to the cap you want.
I could frame 3 questions from each of what he just asked, but let me, since I'm going to stay within your cap, your topic right now that you have, Mr. Speed. From I saw your interview with Manningsman, I heard you speak about the 7 and anything else need to be justified. This is my question to you. Give an example, or what is an example of the justification that would suffice for any amount above 7.
So if you told me that you had 15 players who play in any top 10 league in the world and get minutes in their first team, I have no issue with them playing because I know they have been gone through a rigorous process and rise to the top. If you come and tell me, say, him play for your academy and I'm playing under 19s in some League 3 or Conference League, I would have a problem with it.
Okay. So, all right. I did hear you mention that in the interview too. When you spoke, you answered you answered the question, but there's a appendage to that question that you mentioned that I want you to clear up. You told the nation or the world that you were instrumental in getting these two coaches because of their credentials, so to speak, and experience. Correct?
I say more. I also tell you that we are in Jamaica as coaches is letting down the players because we're just not good enough.
All right.
All of that.
So you just said that you would have a problem if Monsieur John Wall, in his list that he gave you, had a player from the academy, for an academy, or from some non-top 10 league, that you would have an issue with that. That does not balance as it relates to you saying Mr. Wall is qualified and experienced to make these trustworthy decisions. However, if he selects a player from the academy, that you would have an issue with him making that selection.
So you asked me for some example, and you're trying to.
No, I accepted your answer that you gave me. No.
So what else you want me to say? I am telling you what my opinion is.
I think you missed the first part, Mr. Speed. Let me just
No, JT, I didn't miss the first part. I accepted what he gave me as the first part. I am only taking issue with what he said he would have a problem with within the justification.
No, but Pastor,
so I would have to justify it better. The first one, I wouldn't even say a word.
But let me just clear this up, Mr. Speed. I want you to keep this in mind, Pastor. The decision wasn't taken solely by Mr. Speed on the quota system. So
the question has nothing to do with the quota system. Who took the decision, JT? That I'm not questioning who took the decision for the quota system. That is what is in place. I am dealing with the functionalities with regard to what is in place. Mr. Speed said the coach can justify it, and he gave the example. I heard his example. What I asked the second question on is that he said he would have a problem if Wall had in his list of players over the 7, no, because he's not questioning the first 7. His list of players over the 7, somebody who is from an academy. If I put that against Mr. Speed's declaration of Wall's qualification and experience with regard to scouting, selecting of players, and those things, I would then have an issue as to how Mr. Speed balances those two opposing positions.
You're marrying two things when don't marry, and because you're not really a coach. Let me just explain something. I never say. I say if the person was in Conference League or League 3, I'll give you an example. And they're just in an academy and not playing in a professional league and not getting any minutes. Yes, I would. That those players would come under much more scrutiny than somebody who is playing in a top team and just. That's all I'm saying. I don't know how you want to put it, but
that is what I asked you the question, and only that. You said Mr. Wall's credentials predispose us to the belief that he's capable, he has the experience. So if you now say you would have a problem with him selecting that player, are you not saying that you are questioning his...
Yes, so look here, regardless of experience and in qualification, how much time you guys question decision made by top coaches in England where coach Premier League and
every time?
Exactly. So why me now as a person who is responsible for technical thing mustn't discuss it? I don't understand you.
I never said you shouldn't discuss
direction or duty if me know if that
I never said you shouldn't. I ask you the question, Mr. Speed. You said you would have an issue, and I ask you
Then me not
the
say me have an
question
issue.
on the issue that you would have.
Yes, because you question top coaches all over the world, them decisions, everything them do. I hear you all the time. So now me in charge of coaches, and me is a trained person, trained. So me now mustn't question them, or you can question coaches. You
I
know?
never said you shouldn't question them, Mr. Speed. Again,
What the argument about?
I am asking you if this man is qualified to do the job.
Me can't answer that question there again. Because me tell you, say, just like how you question other coaches and them decision, I have the right to question all of the coaches, including Al Grimson, everybody, if them do anything when me not think is correct. I don't run around my job. I am going to ask the question.
Pastor, we're not gonna do this.
I don't understand what you're asking.
We have to be more precise.
No, Mr. Speed, I never said at any point you should not question or you don't have the right to question.
Yes.
I never said that.
Pastor, me answer a question already, so I don't even know what you're asking. I mean, I got change. I'm consistent. Anything any coach do, anytime they send them report in, which them have to send a report after every match, I question them, every single one of them. And that will never change.
So based on Mr. Speed duties, Pastor, I don't see anything wrong in that.
No, JT,
yeah.
Because you're looking at it that I am contending him questioning it. I am saying if Wall is qualified.
But is that Wall alone? Al Grims is more qualified than I question him too.
If Elon Musk hire qualified engineer in the Tesla, I'm not just start screw up cars. Them still have to have checks and balances the way must screw up.
Yes.
Like John Wall is coming in, he's employed as well. So there has
I
to
question
be
every coach. Every one of them a question. No care who.
That's what it's basically saying here, Pastor, that anybody comes into a company, you're gonna get questioned based on what the deal was.
Just a minute, the JT. So return.
Yeah. Yeah, we never want the show to get. That's why I'm ask Pastor to just ask direct questions, because I'm gonna get into this back and forth thing with Mr. Speed, and we want to get away from that. So Mr. Speed, because I don't, as you can see, I shift my channel where I can't have my channel be a JFF beating stick. I need my thing to have a conversation.
I just wanted to clear up that one part, but because people have it wrong about the quota. It's not that, and they have it wrong to both think it's me do it. It's not me. As a matter of fact, me fight to get the numbers as high as me could. And but as I said before, it's a collection of people ideas. But we got in one proviso in there that they need to justify anything over.
Yeah, and I like that it wasn't binding. I like that it wasn't binding, because if it was binding, I think then we would be in big problems. Because as you said, what you're saying is almost, if players are coming from top tier teams where it is basically a no-brainer, you don't need to, then obviously he's gonna be able to justify that, because you show up with a kid from Man U,
Barcelona.
Yeah. What about the championship? It seems like we have a few players in the champion. Is that also considered good league?
Yes, because let me tell you something that I know. Jamaica Premier League is ranked 117 of the world.
Mm-hmm.
The League of Iceland is ranked 85. But our Premier League quality a little better still, But because there are certain things. But the championship is still ranking, I think, in the top 30 in the world. So I'm not a fool. I know all these things. So if somebody come from the championship, I know so then we are we see them way. So and those are the things that we take into consideration when you can't come to me with any player and say him better than a Jamaican player.
I do understand that, Mr. Speed.
There's a reason why he's down in the 5th division, If he was that good, he would have been further up. So all of these things when they come to us, because we know what to look for, and we in this business will take it into consideration before we make a decision. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and why I kind of understand what you're saying is, as Jamaicans, we can meet a friend. We have 2 sons, and we just decide that them a baller, and them in the U20 or the U team. So there has to be filtering, as you're saying, because the diaspora is so huge, and it's only 23 players or so. You need to filter out where you're bringing in top brass. If you're going to have kids come in and take all the spots from the local players, they need to at least be at a higher level. I do understand that, because there has to be a balance with local development and people kicking on and aspiring to play for Jamaica, and having the balance of bringing in good youth players from the diaspora. So as I said, the number 7 is a bit tight. I would have gone more 10, 13. But as you said, it was something, probably it was a fight to get to 7.
Fuzzy had 9 though, you know, last time. You know.
Yeah. Fuzzy had 9. And I think this team, I with a team like 13-10, because I think, looking at the All-Man in Shavan and those guys were there recording, Mr. Speed, looking at those schoolboys, I didn't see a lot of them jump off the screen. A lot of them still are missing the slight fun.
You know my views about schoolboy, playing schoolboy alone and playing under 20s a no for me. That's my view.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell the coach who to pick, but that's a no for me.
Okay, so we're on the same page when that's concerned. You're more looking at it now from a higher level.
Professional.
Oh, it's only 20 players, Mr. Speed, right?
20 players in youth tournament. That's the only amount you can carry.
Oh my God. So it's even closer now. It's even closer. So then we at least have to make the goalkeeper them. We have to get 2 goalkeepers from Jamaica. we have to get 2 goalkeepers. We take up 2 of them from Jamaica. So we have to be Mr. Wall and people. I don't want to start to make it look like there is a divide with Mr. Speed and Mr. Wall. I think Mr. Wall is a professional, and I think Mr. Speed has come under. I think one of the things is because Mr. Speed wasn't afraid to jump out in front of a lot of stories for the JFF. I think you get blamed. A lot of things stick to you, basically. You come take the big stone from the time the voice note them release. You just come with the people them give be a big stone. So you have to live with it. You took it. Look like the JFF when have a meeting and everybody afraid to go out there, and you put up your hand and say, yo, me I go out there now. And then you show up on YouTube and deal with all the mess. I think there were things that the JFF progressed in. I like what's happening with Simon Preston on the media end. Look like Manny's doing a good job with team management there. Is there anything in the new year now, Mr. Speed, that you guys are looking to fine-tune and get better, optimize it and make it a bit more smoother?
Well, actually, I am the first one to also admit that we were less than good in a lot of instances in our dealings. Mm-hmm. But you have to put things into perspective. We inherited almost $300 million worth of debt, and we can knock on wood, we clear off majority, more than two-thirds so far, which, you see, last year was the year that we earned the most money the JFF has earned in its history. That is why the perception that is out there does not match certain performance, How is it that we're so bad and we earn the most money in 2023? And if you believe we earn money in 2023, we're going to earn even more in 2024. But if you have this albatross of a debt hanging your jaw in your back, a lot of times we have the money to pay the fee, to pay the plane fare, and somebody can knock on the door with a demand letter to source. What do you think we do? We pay the bill and then try if we forge the next way if we get the flights out. And
how are we now? Is that better? No?
Much better now. Going into 2024 after March, I think we're going to be sailing smoothly. One of the reasons is that contract that we had with as you know, we get $2 million for the Copa America, right?
Okay.
So that's prize money. We have this contract that we signed with Adidas, magnificent contract, but because we're having these back bills, it kind of was sticky. But now, the first set of royalty will be paid in March, which is we get 20% on all the things that sell all over the world, and it's going to be a good figure.
Okay, for the merchandise,
and it's going to be a good figure, right?
Yes. That's good because I think the jerseys are coming off.
So when you see our manifesto come out, you see that we're going to spend extensively on development because we have no quota for the senior team, neither male or female. There's no quota. The coach pick anybody he want pick. That's his prerogative. Mm-hmm. What happened though is that we're concerned that like the Women World Cup 24, we only had 6 players that born in Jamaica. Anybody with a concern. It's not like say we try to block it or anything, but we're concerned. So it's only 6. But Jamaica from the 24. We're not trying to be diaspora phobic. It's just a concern of ours. So
But
what we
that's
decide.
tricky, Mr. Speed. You know why that's tricky if we don't look on it that way there? Because remember, as soon as you develop certain girls in Jamaica who are good enough, they're gonna have to leave the island.
No, but we don't count the people who go overseas go play as overseas born. We don't
Okay.
Those count in a local still because them born in Jamaica.
Okay.
So like Bonisha would have been counting at the 6 as born in Jamaica. But 6 is a small amount out of 24. It's a quarter that, So what we decide to do to get that numbers up is to ensure that with development programs are better. And that is why we want to pump a whole heap of money in our development programs. That's why we started with the coaches, because we know good coaches make better players. Club licensing, big thing, better club make better coach, I employ better coach, I employ better player. So we have this program that we start develop, and now we have the funding to back it. And that's what can happen in 2022.
Okay, so you're saying that we should look for but so, and we saw that Sidela has put in her resignation. Don't know if that's official.
Yeah, it's official.
So it's official. Is there any a thank you from the JFF?
Yeah, man, definitely. The president wrote her expressing was sorry, said she had to leave, etc., and I hope in the future she can work with us again. So that was the.
Yes, because my stance on the whole thing, it was a bit tricky because I think that Sidela has developed a lot of power with the girls, and I think that can also be a problem in whole and fundraising. I didn't know that it was very tricky, Mr. Speed. When I'm reading with the FIFA.
Hold on, we need to fix that right away. Last year, 2023, the JFF spent more than 2.7 million US on the girls. I just wanted to say that, put it right out there, because we are the ones who spend 90% of the money on the reggae girls. I want to put it out there so people understand that. And the reggae girls, if you see how they live, 5-star hotels, that's where we have them, there are some things that we're upset about because, like, one of the girls said it's GoFundMe money to carry them to the World Cup. We have not received $1 from GoFundMe account. As a matter of fact, I went to Amsterdam with the reggae girls because we had issues, and I was there with Sarah working out how they're going to fly to Australia, and the JFF sent more than the money that the flight costs to get the girls them to Australia. So I was really taken aback when anybody suggested that the JFF didn't have money to send the girls to Australia. It's not true. I was there with Sarah, spoke to Chung sent more. As a matter of fact, Chung sent more than 100,000 more than what the flight costs to carry the girls into Australia. There was no truth to that.
So before I let Jason go and ask you a question, I want you guys to know, Mr. Speed, it has been virtually documented that when Sidela left the program now, Jamaica has gone to 2 World Cup. It seemed like the girls were on a trajectory. So the next person comes in, them know where the standard is. So we can't see people now 3 years from now and there's no program and people drop the ball and dog it my homework. It's documented here that there's something to build on. So whoever is there gonna be somebody designated?
Yeah.
No.
All of that in the pipeline. I can't tell you. Somebody really important to and famous. So because again, people have this narrative about the JFF. Why would somebody as famous as the person we're going to appoint would want to come on board if the JFF was all of that negative things that they are talking about? So back to the girls, what we have done, we now have a core of 60 girls because we had to go back and scourge the world to figure out who are the next best set of girls. So now we have a bigger pool. So the complacency with having the same set of playing all the time won't be there anymore. There's a bigger pool now. Everybody has to work hard to make a combined team whenever that come back on street.
Okay. Jason Guna, you have something to say to Mr. Speed.
Yeah, Mr. Speed, good day. Big up Shavan, big up JT, everybody in the chat. Yeah, so my question actually going back a little bit to the whole quota and everything we're talking about before. For a long time, Mr. Speed, I've been, watching these programs, and you have made yourself available to various programs, which I always commend you for. Now, on these programs, I have heard you say in the past that, in your role as the technical committee chair, you do not pick teams, right?
Never.
And you have said that numerous times, right? And you said never as soon as I say it now, right? So my question to you is, if when that quota is met by the youth team coaches and they, as you put it, need to justify to the technical committee why we should go above that number, who are they making those justifications to?
They'll have to come in front of the committee, present the players. For instance, let me just give you an example. Look, suppose you have two center forward already, and you say, I want a third center forward from overseas, and you have two already from overseas. It's not that we don't want it, but why would you carry a third one from overseas? So when you come and present your justification, just make it make sense. That's all. It's not that we are pick the person. We're not pick nobody. So we could have said to you, say, so why you carry three center forward? You can't play any other position? So we ask you some question. They say, no. Three of them can only play number 9. So we say, then why not just pick the best two? Something like that. Instead of, so it's just for you to just justify what you're doing when we ask some question. And if you're good, you're good.
Right. So basically the point of me asking that question is, at some point in the process, the technical committee and its members have a say in the selection of the team.
No. We say, if suppose you justify 3 more, people will say, okay, get your 3 more. We not tell you who to pick.
So
but
okay,
it's kind of selection,
No, I know where I'm going, but it's not, because you don't even have to tell us the player name. All you have to do is come and say, we need a left winger because we don't have none, and we have the 1 year from Barcelona, and the one we're competing with him come from Cavalier. So I would have said that sound like I hit that. We now gonna ask whether the player the name or nothing. We just want to know why the rule, why you want the person to join.
Okay, follow-up question to that then, because I would assume that any coach coming to the committee with a justification probably feels pretty strongly in their convictions. That's why they came to you. So of the times when they have been asked for, the blessing of the technical committee to get some more people in, what would you do? Could you put a percentage on, how many times they
every time they ask, they get all of them.
So there has never been
so
a time
far
when they have come. Okay. And
so
how many teams would that this quota been in
we
place
just
for
name,
so far?
listen to the program. Under 20 with Xavier, under 17 with Miran, under 20 with Fuzzy. They all got extra players.
Okay, so the last 3, so 2 cycles of U20 and 1 of U17 have gone through this process.
Look, and I think the under 17 girls that have 10 or 11 too. I mean, as I say, it's not an issue. You just need to understand, say, if there is a policy in place, which we all know what policy means, you have to follow the policy. You can't come and decide you're not follow the policy. You'll get fired.
Yeah, and the main reason for my line of questioning is, as JT was pointing out just now, regardless of if it's a policy why this is happening, those that are creating the policy also have they are a part of the process. So I just don't think that you can definitively say you don't have any part to play in the selection when a part of the process actually includes.
I believe that you try to come with Jason Gona. Look here now. Hold on. Let me just say, hold on, Jason, just hold on. You see, when me tell you about why some of the time I not even bother want to come talk about anything, because say, me just tell you about me. Say, even when the teams release squad, when the coach I try to send it to me, me tell him, say, do not send the squad to me, because I don't want when anybody leaky, you wonder if it's me. Do not send the squad to me. Pick your squad, and when the media get it, I will see it. That's how me operate, So all of these questions, I not even know where them are lead up to. I am.
But I just explained what they were leading to, and you don't want to hear it.
Hold on. Just ask Tapper, somebody who me and him have a contentious relationship. Not even him would I ever tell us I never interfere with selection of team. Don't try that. I don't. I am stringent with not doing it. And I even help them. When anybody try to pick them team for them, me are the first one stand up and say, no way. You know why? Because I'm a coach. Nobody can pick a team give me. I prefer walk. So I practice what I preach. And you know me still. Me could have never make a coach stand up in front of me and say, me beg him to pick on player or don't pick up player. No. As a matter of fact, me have the power not to pick players, but to drop out any players out of the squad. That's the power me really have, you know. To drop a player. To tell the coach you can't use a one year because of certain things. That's the power me actually have. And only one time I ever use it.
And that would come down to like behavior or contract breaches and etc. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
Mr.
please,
Speed,
you're insulting me when you start to think like I'm a picking team. You're really insulting me because me are one of the main advocate. As a matter of fact, and me write most of the contract for the coaches, and me write it in the contract. Say, and them alone, me write in the contract, you know. And I like word of mouth. Me make sure say in the contract that them alone can pick team. That's how far me go to make sure. Say then.
yeah, and Mr.
I mean, I go
Speed,
further to say any coach when me know say make people make them pick player outside of them conviction that coach can get fired. I mean, they know that. So
yeah,
nobody try that to
and
give
look,
me.
my intention is not to insult you. I don't think, you know, I'm
I
sorry
think
that you
so.
feel that way. But again, I just, for you to be saying that, you know, you definitively don't pick teams and everything, that's great. And I commend you. I don't think you should if you're not the coach, right? But again, the policy that was created, and I heard you say that, you know, you were on the side of having more players and it's a compromise why we got to these numbers. My suggestion to you is, could we come up with policy that, you know, eliminates even me having these thoughts? Because if the policy includes the committee that you are a part of being a part of the justification process, then it's very hard for me to understand you saying you don't have anything to do with it. Yes, so far you have not had to change it, and you say it's 100% when they come with the justification, but I don't understand how you could have a policy in place that read at face value means that
So
you
let me
have to be a
explain.
part of it.
So let me explain something to you. I'm not even sure if I should explain to you because you're coming at a different angle. In every single country, there's for every business, people call it an industry. Every single person in every single country protect their local industry. Am I right? Am I wrong? Great. So you can see that some people have that idea, so they must protect their local industry. How do you protect your local industry? You don't need to go no further, I know. But we, our football purists, understand that the local industry alone can't carry it. So there has to be a compromise. And no, not perfect. There's no who said the 7 right. If we go to 15, who said 15 correct? Nobody don't know. There's no perfect figure. But that's what we could have get passed at the board meeting. And we get that passed with a proviso say, if you need more, ask. I think that's a fair deal.
Okay,
Mr. Speed, one moment.
okay, so just to find, I don't want to go around the corner again, but all I will say to finish my point of this is perhaps, right? I don't know if it's possible, but why would it be wrong of me to say that the coach picked for whatever team and the technical committee in tandem come up with the final team? Would that be an untrue statement?
Yes, because coaches are supposed to deal with operations. Board members deal with policy. They have two different functions. They can't.
No. I'm referring specifically to the technical committee that they have to justify extra players too. Because that process is a part of it in the policy writing. Wouldn't that then mean that it's a group of the coach mainly, but at times he will have to come to the committee to justify changing the quota that has been set by the policy members. So in essence, both parties have to create the team.
Well, you're distinguishing on the fact. It's a type of thing where them saying a law, you're distinguishing on the fact, to create a new law, to create a new policy. I don't know where you're going with it. All I can tell you is that
You're a highly intelligent
no. But all I can tell you that
insult yourself.
no, I'm not insulting myself. All I can tell you that listen,
sense.
all I can tell you, I can just go back over and say again because I don't know which other angle I must take it from. Coach carry out the policies of the JFF. So when you come for the job, you know the policy, you stick to the policy. If there's supposed to be a review after the coach carry back them report and give to us, and we review it and we see the need to raise it or drop it, that will go back to the board and that decision is made there. One thing I can tell you, I don't see it as an issue. All I say is that people must understand there's accountability for everything. Nobody is a lone ranger. If we set a policy and there's a provision for you to increase it, you follow the procedure and you're good. Once your objective pure and you actually do the thing in a good faith, you're good. Because we can tell you some stories, when we get email and text from people who get in them kids and tell me what they do from what they're not doing. We can tell the stories. So we have certain knowledge where you don't have. And there's people who play on teams when they deserve to be on it will come from.
Why, Mr. Speed, I'm going to make you know there's a lot of things that you think I don't know. Because
right, so if you know all of these things, then you should agree with me. So the checks and balance must be there.
No. I'm not saying they shouldn't be there. My main point, is that don't say that the technical committee don't have anything to do with selection when they are a part of the justification process. That's all I'm saying.
No. But hold on. So if you say if somebody no want no more than 7, would have anything to do with it?
If somebody don't want
they don't want more than 7 overseas, them continue with 5 or 4.
Yeah.
So like now, where we only have 4 people who have passport, we not need to say anything.
Yes, but you have said already on the program that the last 3 teams had more. So that simply means they had to come to you to justify the more, not true?
They ask for more. Yeah. Okay. I'm not 3 teams. I'm more than 3 teams.
I
don't pick the person. But I don't pick the person who them ask for. So you say we pick. We not pick. We just say okay.
No, but you have the power to tell them that the justifications don't make sense to you.
But if it don't make sense, it don't make sense,
Yeah, but that's what comes with the power of the position.
Right.
When your kid come to you and say them want sweet, them want more sweet, yes, you eat for breakfast, lunch, and you tell them no.
Yes.
That's how you go, man. Come on.
But all I'm saying is, Mr. Speed, you can't just say that.
You are saying we must have some power, and then when me see in my best interest at the JFF or the best interest of the country, we must just say, go ahead with everything the people say.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying.
You have to have a gatekeeper, but I don't me pick nobody.
And I'm saying, if you are in essence or a part of the committee that are the gatekeepers, then you are a part of the selection. That's all I'm saying. I don't know why
no.
I think what Mr. Speed is running from their Jamaica Guna is JS Guna is when that drop in the Jamaican space, people are not going to divulge or look at the minute way how you broke it down based on his role and the department. They're gonna just see Mr. Speed pick the team. Yeah, I think that's also a thing where Mr. Speed don't want to get too close to that because you know how YouTube it can then look at as a general thing where Mr. Speed is picking the team, not like how the way you're breaking it down and saying, but if that's what you're doing and then that's that. A lot of people are not going to look at it that way. Jamaica, Jason Gona. I think that's just my opinion.
We're not picking a team, man. We don't even business with the coach, man. Man. If you start with the team, or you fire the coach, man. If you're not good. Or if you start with the team, how do you really assess his performance? He might just say to me, but are you give me another
But are you pick the team? Precisely.
Right, and that is why we stay far from it and me go out of my way to make sure nobody not help pick nothing.
Mr. Speed, all right, let me say mechanically, is picking the team and team selection the same thing?
Well, if you want to get down to that, you can walk with picking the squad or the provisional squad and then the squad
Yeah,
and
because
then
I
the
feel
team.
like
Now you
there's a
have three different.
different thing. I feel
Yeah.
like there's a breakup. Can you explain that to us, Mr. Speed? The provisional and then selection and then picking, because I don't know if there's something a disconnect there.
No, coach make picking provisional squad, then him pick. So for instance, in a senior team, so you go World Cup, you pick a provisional squad as 50 at the coach picking squad. And then come to 23 at the coach picking squad. And then go down to 11 at the coach picking squad again. That's how it works.
Okay, so but for the youth teams, how does the provisional squad work with a
Same
quota
thing.
of 7?
Same thing.
But
You
how
know
much
what
can
me?
be the provisional with a quota of 7 overall?
No. It don't look at the 7 have to do the 20. Not less.
Okay, the 20. Okay, the final squad. Okay, simple.
All right, Mr.
Anything
Speed.
else here?
Mr.
Shavan? Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As preparation started, because we know the competition is just a month away. Has preparation started with a locally based contingent of the players as yet?
And that is why I asked January and Nassim that question there. I'm not going to answer.
Understood. All right. So the reason why I'm asking, as JT mentioned, I was at the combine over the weekend. I know not all of the players that are eligible to play for the U20 were there. And as you mentioned, we want players who are actually playing in the professional level. So a lot of the players weren't there because they are actually in the Premier League level. But there are some concerns by some of the fans, including myself, that what we saw at the combine, some of the better players that we know at that particular age group, they didn't look that impressive amongst lower quality players. So with some of those other players coming in, a lot of player persons will be saying that because I heard you made mention of this before that we're just playing against Caribbean teams, so we should get over the hurdle. But I remember in the Olympic qualifiers, we went with a mostly local based squad, and I don't think we got a point. I think we got 1 point, yeah, but we hadn't gone out with Caribbean teams. So you can understand
Which one
why
of the
those
Olympic qualifiers you talking?
U23, the male,
When?
when Mr. Duki was the coach.
Right. And you see, let me explain something to you about that particular tournament. That was a tournament that told me that the Caribbean teams was getting close. You see, when I look over on St. Kitts and Nevis bench and look at the people who came with them, I saw a coach there that actually taught us in the B license in Jamaica. And that was the time that triggered my obsession with coaching education, because I know that the only reason why they beat us was because they had better coaching. Because I see those players come back to Jamaica and try to play in our Premier League and they're nowhere near our quality. But you see, a good coach, him can equalize teams because he know things that you never even think about. And that is one of the reasons why we are so obsessed now in Jamaica with coaching education, because we understand the reason why top coaches are sought after. So since we have gone on this education drive and have employed better coaches, that is why we went and employed better coaches. That is the reason why I believe that we should be able to get ahead at our Caribbean neighbors, because we know have better coaches at the helm with our players.
Okay, understood. So another question. I think it's relating to the quota system in some aspect. You made mention that it was a decision made. It wasn't made by you. So I have to agree. I have to say, okay,
A
then fine,
board
it's not you.
decision.
Yeah, it's a board. But the persons who are on the board, does the board still comprises of the mainly, well, some of the parish presidents?
All the parish presidents are on the board.
All right. So I think that's where a lot of fans may have some questions, because a lot of the fans here would say that we know that a lot of the presidents, they may have their motives. I'm not saying you, but I'm saying that even if, let's say, Mr. Wall has 8 persons and he goes to one, but then the player that he wants to recommend will maybe push out a player from one of the parishes on the parish level. How are we the fans can have some form of assurance that, hey, they're not going to look out for trying to make a quick buck. by trying to have a player impress while having this player that's probably in England or the US MLS too right now. You're not going to say, hey, just give the Jamaican kid a chance to shine. Why? Because that person already overseas, so just give them the chance. So I think that's you have to understand why we the fans will be concerned about that.
I don't have a problem with fans being concerned. That's what they are there for, to be concerned. I will listen to them. I will try to do better. So fans are important to the game, just like people think referees are important to the development of the game. They are important to everybody. Is important to the game. If you don't have fans, or you're going to get money, gate receipts and gears and everything. So funds is important. But what I'm trying to say to you is that you also have to look at the same person that you talk about. They also would like to have a player from their parish playing in a national team because it gives them prestige. So they have their what they want to achieve too, because it shows that their parish are developing national players. So everybody, so if in Jamaica we select an under 15 team and don't go to every parish, when I go to board meeting and give me help. Why you not come to my parish? Or you know me not have no dopey and some stone and we can play good. Or you know say them even if I 1 foot them have more look on them. Even if I one of them have more you look on them. That's what happening, you know. So you have to understand say what you see at the end game to reach there is a whole heap of negotiation, and you have to send the team go there to go practice. You have trials all over the place. And so people also know that if you have more local based player, the more chances their players in the parish will get to represent the under 15 because it's a part of pride for them. But we and the technical committee have to look at what is best for Jamaica, but still have to balance everything because you can't go to a board and with something can't work, you know. It don't make sense.
But that's concerning though, Mr. Speaker, because what you just
mentioned. But it happens everywhere in the world, you know. You just don't know about
it. Yeah, that's understandable, but from the fans' standpoint, because remember, and you have agreed, the U20 is not a development league. The U20, if you look at the top countries around the world, their U20 players are actually playing in the Premier Leagues. And as you mentioned, our Premier League comparing to some other leagues, our Premier League can't compare. So if we have the possibility of having a championship player come in, but because a parish president has let's say a defender, and he wants that particular defender in the team, but then Mr. Wall comes to him and say, hey, I have a defender coming in, but if he comes in, you're going to kick out my guy. No, that can't happen. I need my guy there. So you have to understand, because remember, the U20 is not for development.
No parish president can't. No parish president can't do that. What you just said, though, that can't. Him can't choose nobody on the team. The coach alone decide who plays on the team. The parish president would be upset if you didn't look at his players. And I don't think they are worried about you picking them. They want the opportunity more than anything else. You're right, though. If there is a bigger contingent of local players, it is more likely that a local player from a parish will be on the team. That is correct.
Okay. Yeah, man. So we basically, as I said, Mr. Speed, I'm glad you came on, and I'm gonna let Jamaica Jason Guna ask his final question. But Mr. Speed, I'm glad you came on and clear those things up, because I wanted to find out from you. As I said, I'm glad that the 7 is not binding, because I think it needs to be flexible. I can understand, and I didn't know that the 7 was a decision from the board, because I think that makes it even more complicated, because looking at Mr. Raymond Anders's campaign, and they don't seem very fond of actually bringing in too much diaspora players.
No, so, they even going as far as to say them can call Shamar Nichols now and then. He's not a foreign player.
They said that?
Yes.
Okay.
They say whenever they didn't call Shamar Nichols.
Yeah, at the manifesto thing, they said when the Leon Baileys and the Shamars can't come, we'll have the local elite squad here. So they're counting them as players that we should only call sometimes. And stuff.
No, that's scary. No, that's scary. Yeah, only just make us win the election and make we move on. Yeah, because as I said, no, Mr. Speed, even though I want to know if we win, I don't know, say it's because I think you guys, though you haven't done everything correctly, I think you guys have listened somewhat. I've seen where pressure from YouTube has helped the JFF to move certain things in the right direction or try to change. So I think that you guys have improved, but still need to get to a better place where there's less noise. I hope with the female program going forward now, there's a new memorandum of understanding with the ladies as far as how monies are going to be dispersed. We don't want to hear from Mr. Chung in this upcoming year about Swift number never work on the bank account and look like some bank never open early and a holiday. We don't want to hear those things anymore. Those things need to be taken care of between you guys and the girls, and just do the job. That's what we want, because we don't want to spend too much. I don't like it. So I hope you guys can improve. That's why I asked specifically, Mr. Speed, is there any things that you guys think you need to really bring together this year and get
but
better?
the truth is, you see, people still don't want to remember certain things that was a part of our committee blessings to start up. If you notice, we start to have camps. We call some about 11 past players that live in the United States. And if you notice, we start to have camps in St. Lucia with Altiman Butler leading it for the past 2 years. So that is, so for people to believe that Speed don't like diaspora, why would I implement that policy in Miami? We have kept 4 camps there. We're keeping abreast of the under 15 and the under 17s to integrate them in our national team. We have a next set of players in England that we're working towards to have our first camp over there too. We have people in Miami and California who are willing to be a part of that setup. So people know that we have this camp, but they still carrying a narrative. Because the narrative just say we don't like them from overseas. But why would we start to do those things if we didn't like the people from overseas? So, I mean, and we're doing more as we go along. But one of the biggest problems that we had is just the funding. And now we're in a better place. And as I say, I don't mind come and explain things. It's just that some of the people them kind of weird because them not even try if you have any reasonability and reasonable things and just because them want to carry a narrative. But if JFF was doing that bad, a lot of these things that you say that we're doing now, we do. I mean, in our manifesto coming out Wednesday now, you will see all the things that we achieve because we'll list them out, right? All of that will be there, and what we're going to be doing in the future will be there, and it's not a joke thing. The JFF is changing slowly. If you notice, the reggae boys calm, jump up back from 60 to 55, calm, moving in the right direction. History in terms of semi-final and Nation League history, CONCACAF regarding in a Copa. It's the same thing we have to do. Some of the things have to look hard. We look like we're hard, but we have to make sure we take back control of the game in Jamaica. Then we can move forward.
And the fans are they're scattered now. They're like the scattered multitudes. You have to bring them together. And Mr. Speed, please ask Mr. Chung to make sure Copa America Nations League with the guys, we not hear no money problem with people not get paid.
No, but we still owe them, we're not finished paying.
No, we know it's on owe them, but make sure at least them have enough where we not hear them. Like we just want to watch some football and be able to support the team.
And that's where we're going. And for a long while, I think we never take care of business like how we should take care of business. If you notice, that is one of the reasons why we even have this issue with the girls, because one of the big contentious issue is that we say no. If you try to pick the coach or the technical staff, is a red line. We tell you say it's a red line. Don't cross it. Try to pick the coach or the technical staff, because that was one of their big ticket item. And we say no, don't go there. And that is one of the sticking point. Well, it's not sticking. Can them kind of admit to them shouldn't go there right now. But because we never put on our foot with some of those things, why certain things happen? Because the only coach that ever come out in the history of the JFF and talk so much things about the JFF is always the female coaches. There's nobody else do it, Just try and remember, go back. How him get so much power with people who employ him? Nobody else can do that. So some of those things.
I think the World Cup cloud kind of got.
No, it's not from this World Cup alone. It's from all the last one too.
Okay.
Remember? Right. So these are some of the things that we have to say. No, we have to pull back these things and make people understand. Say no quality team and progressive team behave like this. So some of those things we see is happening now. Them just playing out a process for us to have better control to move forward. But we're poised to move forward, you know, and we know better and we're going to do it.
Okay, all right, which is right. All right, there you have it, people. Mr. Speed. So the competition kicks off in February. When in February? The U20 kicks off?
Well, the first thing is here, I think we're planning to go on a little tour with the under-20 team in January, so we can get some much needed match practice, etc. The truth is, again, one of the next thing, I didn't bring it up, but I must bring it up here. For the teams that have the top under-20 player that are playing in their league, they will not release the player outside of a FIFA transfer.
Yeah, we are aware of that.
So the truth is, when the game is playing in February, how much of them will get? I don't know. That is a problem.
All right. So my people must say, Mr. Speed, I love your talk. Just fix things, please. I think.
No, man, we're getting there, man. We're getting there.
Yeah, man.
Don't worry about it.
We need that. That's Mr. Speed, because I tell you, there's no joy in coming on YouTube talking about the JFF. It's one of the most boring thing. Like for me, football. But these things, they pop up and they take over the space. You know, when JFF thing to a trend, you know, from Sportsmax right back to all of them channels, it's just up. And we want it now to be about the progress. I hope to get some update later from you down the road. We talk about the academy. I don't know when the FIFA thing, when that kicks off and it start moving. So we kind of get an understanding, because we heard it, but a lot of people, we don't really understand how this is going to operate and how it's going to roll out. When is the manifesto release date, Mr. Speed?
Coming out on Wednesday.
Coming out Wednesday, which is tomorrow or next Wednesday?
No, man, tomorrow Wednesday.
Oh, tomorrow Wednesday.
11 o'clock tomorrow, so you'll get a copy of it and then you can
go through whatever it is. And thank you, Jason Guna, for coming through. Really appreciate it. I think he couldn't wait to get his last word in. Not you, JT, but someone make some good change. Keep the chaos going. Yeah, man, we don't want to keep the chaos going. And you know, this is what I always try to do. When I get Mr. Speed and them on here, I just ask Mr. Speed the question immediately and we get the answer. If people want to go and create other things, they can do that. People in the comment section, before Mr. Speed leave, do you have any question? We can ask Mr. Speed now and just clear up this issue so we don't have this lingering and we move on to something else coming up. So please let me know in the comment section. Do you have anything else you would want to ask Mr. Speed, guys? So we can just get
next week Wednesday. This week Wednesday. My manifesto tomorrow. Like we said, tomorrow.
Tomorrow Wednesday. It's tomorrow Wednesday, man. El Genera said the manifesto should be a statement publicly detailing the plans, intentions, motives, or views of the incumbent or challenger. No need to mention the achievements.
I know nobody don't want to see the achievement because you have to carry a narrative.
Yeah. Is there a chance? Yeah, I don't think that's a Mr. Speed question. Shadow Strike about actual players playing.
No, I'm not business with that.
Question about Mr. Speed, should we look for a female coach this year?
Yeah, man, we're looking. We have coaches, you know. It's just that we never move because let me explain something to people. Again, one of the put things into perspective. We don't have no engagement for a little while. So we could always go and get the coaches are expensive. So we have to know where.
Dexplay wants to know, Mr. Speed, how can I reach out to you? I'm from Hanover to handle my coaching license. Where can I contact you?
Everybody have my number. Ask the boss down there for my number and call me.
All right. Dear Dexplay, you can contact whoever is in Hanover, Mr. Speed says, and just contact him and get that going. All right, Dexplay. Yes, sir. History will be the judge. When will we fix the girl program so we can have all the World Cup squad back?
Yeah,
We're
we're
not gonna
trying.
get
We're
into that.
trying. We're fixing it. We're supposed to have a meeting next week again. The one this week fall through. So let's hope it happens.
Yeah. I hope that gets sorted out. But I also hope that, Mr. Speed, there has to be a new arrangement with these girls, because we can't have them stick up even when money is not paid. I think they should get paid, but we can't have them bailing out when it's time for qualification for a major competition. So I hope you guys, whatever the deal is with the girls, there's some kind of new clear arrangement going forward, because we can't have this mess when there's World Cup qualifications or qualification for competition. We hear that the girls not get paid, them not come play. I think there needs to be a new memorandum of understanding between the girls, and whatever the contracts need to be airtight or whatever that needs to be done. Please make sure going forward, part of the solution is that you guys take care of. Okay, much appreciated. Fix the public relation, please, says first responder.
True.
Yes, okay. Yeah, that's something. I think the media space has gotten better. And yeah, I haven't spoke to Mr. Chung lately. Hope he's doing okay, and hope he's got his eye on the ball. Because last year he never finished strong, I hope he knows that. Mr. Dennis Chung, you didn't finish so strong. I was one of your advocates, one of the persons who think that you were sent from God to come in and help us. You're the money man.
No. In the decent, but I tell you already, when you come, look here, people don't even understand. Last year, the finance part, we get out the audited of financial statements and make sure that happen. The tax office is the first to get a tax compliance certificate in 12 years. We pay off all of the back money worth it for the principal, and we owe the interest and penalties now. So he might be doing some work behind the ground with limited resources. I think him did these things. I think him did these things.
He did well. All right, Mr. Speed said he did well. Mr. Speed, how close are the other Jamaican coaches to an A license?
We have 10 now studying for A license. I was just the first in the Caribbean to finish, but we had people who started with me, so we have about 10 more close to finishing them, doing them A license. I hope them finish, this year. We have 27B, and we're doing 29 more now, and we're having another course in March for B license and one in August. But what is more significant though is that the FIFA came here. You see, again, people have a wrong impression about we and FIFA. FIFA came here and run a course so we could teach C license. 10 of us can teach a C license. So now we can drop the price by about 40% because we don't have to get overseas persons to come here and teach a C license now. 2 of us can teach a B license in Jamaica now. And again, the price was high because we always have to get overseas people, coaching educators to come and do the license. So right now, we clear the way for a big run at educating a lot of coaches, so we can get better players. So these are some of the things that is in the background and people don't realize. We also establish a national academy because we applied to FIFA. Only 25 countries was granted a coach, and we are one of them. So those are some good works that we do. That is why I tell you, the people just talk about my technical committee and talk about pick team. That we don't even like talk about pick team. The other work that we're doing, we think is more important than picking team and those and pick coach, because the development of the country is more important than anything else. And next year, we're going to establish a national under 17 competition. We play by all the Premier League teams and all the Tier 2 teams. That is a part of our development. We are geared up for both male and female. World Cup will be every year after 2025. So we want to run this competition now. So all these players will.
That's what's going to happen?
Yes. Every
Youth World Cup?
Under 17 will be every year.
That's perfect, man.
Yeah. So we are get ready for it by having a national academy. We have the coach here already done. And what we're going to be doing is having this under 17 competition that run for 6 months. So all those 15-year-olds are good enough and 16-year-olds, they'll be in training all the time, being groomed to step up in the World Cup squad them whenever it comes around.
Yeah, so, man, that sounds right.
We have a plan, man.
Una go on good. Don't listen to the backbiters, says football guru. Yeah, man, that's what we do over here in a guru. I try to keep the balance because it can be a thing where it's just bashing 100% and we miss everything else. I like to keep the. That's why when Mr. Speed come on, he was agitated about something, and I was like, let me just slow this down, and we just get a discussion because I don't want anybody to feel like this is a rash job.
So we do like club licensing now. So because if you don't have a club license, you can't play in a CONCACAF league. So we make sure that all the clubs up to date with these things. So our technical committee, that is what we keep on working at these things to build our capacity. Not so we here to talk about coaches and we here to talk about selection at teams because we don't even spend our time on those things, and we here to do it. Our committee really.
Yeah, man. And Tennessee Lewis, one of your big supporters, them, Mr. Speed. Tennessee Lewis. Mr. Speed, the senior team finished strong last year. Let's hope after the election, if you win, we can get back to football. I'm tired of hearing about the JFF.
I agree.
Yeah, man. Because I can't bother with every minute Raymond Anderson complaints on a lock him out a building, security now let him in. Cataract them off your video. Like, Mr. Speed. So Cataract is one of your rivals now.
Cataract, I used to have some respect for him when he, kind of used to talk, but now I saw Cataract at a meeting and say he's a delegate for St. Thomas Football Association. Yeah. I was like, Cataract, when you
got to, he got in there. He's there.
Cataract is a character.
So he's a delegate, and he's probably in there asking you guys the toughest questions, Mr. Speed.
No, question is soft. If on YouTube, him think them good. Come, look here, a different thing for come on YouTube and run up your mouth and then come in front of some people who know what they are talking about. In our situation, know the constitution, know the ins and outs, two different arguments, So you can say anything on YouTube, but when you come face to face with people who know what they are talking about and there's rule and decorum and regulation, you can't do nothing. Cataract can't do nothing at all.
Yeah. But we want to say shout out to Cataract. I do think Cataract has the Jamaica's best interest at heart. So hopefully he gets it right. And if he wishes to move up in football in Jamaica, he doesn't get, tainted or end up picking a side. Just come to mutual, but in Jamaica, it's all about politics.
Yeah, and pick a side.
You have to pick a side. Jamaica, you can't play on two sides. So thank you again, guys, for everybody for joining us again. This is the second show of 2024. Improving the channel, as you can see, guys. We're coming in with some new looks, new things to come again that we're working on. Didn't get it sorted out properly today, but we're gonna get better. J. Ross, big up yourself. Spin, big up yourself. Thank you again for joining us, Mr. Speed. Until next time. Cataract says the members of St. Thomas FA, virtue of being a member of Hearties FC. He's a member of Hearties FC. I don't know where those places are, man. Your mic is muted, Mr. Speed. I don't know.
Hearties FC, I think, is the St. Thomas President Club. Is Hearties.
Okay. Wow. All right. There you have it, people. Let me just big up a few people. First responder, Dex Player, Clive Smith, Spinity, Tuffy, Rudy, Shadow Strike, El Gennaro, Patrick, Football Guru, Shavan, Mr. E, Marlon Nelson, Triple E, Mr. Manavalor, J. Ross, everybody who came through. Big up yourself, Mills, everybody. Steel Dragon, the boss. Big up yourself, 2024, my friend. Hope you're having a blessed one. And Chris Smith passed through as well. Brilliant Concepts has passed through as well. And Johan Estechnik, Travis Peso, all of you guys who passed through. Thank you again, guys, for coming through today. And just hit the like button on your way out. Until next